Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Forgotten Podcast. My name is, of course, Catman Joe, and today I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Math Cynic.
Who?
Who? This is like
Hmm?
something he's done all throughout, like the every time we've
Yeah,
had
but I'm just
conversations.
so
Who?
quirky and I'm cool and I have all these friends and I'm the
I'm
man.
just, I'm so much fun. God damn.
I'm
Welcome
quirky.
back, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you're all doing fantastic. This is the episode. It is finally
It
here.
is. There's no
Episode
more.
50.
This is it.
There is no, this is it. This is the end. You know what I'm saying? This is
This is
it.
the
You know what I'm
end.
saying?
Finally,
I
we're
can't,
forgotten.
I really can't believe that it's taken us fucking this long to get to episode 50. We done episode 40.
Consistency.
As of right now, we done episode 40 9 months ago, almost 10 months ago. Now, as a reminder, we're meant to
I know
release
you
one
weren't
episode a
gonna,
week.
but I thought you were gonna say 10 years ago. I'm like, might as well at this fucking point.
Yes, 10 years ago. That's what it is. No, but like, no, we done episode 40 like 10 months ago almost. And if you don't know, it's meant to be every 10 weeks we do a Red Raid. So it's kind of mad. The last time we done a
Oh,
Red Raid episode, we done Breaking Point, which was it's a memorable episode for me and Joe, I think, for at least me, which was the one where we were doing the whole Breaking Bad reference in the thumbnail, and it's like the Breaking Point. And it's me and Joe. And I had the mustache, hence why it says in my description, remove porno mustache. If you haven't seen episode 40, you should watch it. I had the weird porno mustache. It was when I was still at my dad's, and Joe still looked the same. I mean, Joe's not
fuck
really.
off.
Well, no, just
Joe
you
is
haven't.
boring and he doesn't do anything. And I'm cool. Yeah, yeah. I dressed up as Luigi.
Not for
I'm
episode 40.
experimental.
Not for
Oh,
episode
no,
40.
yeah, it's not like a
No.
recurring thing. Oh, look,
No, it's-
Marcinic's Luigi again, guys.
I can go get my
This
outfit
is
right now, the
recurring
Mario one.
thing.
I've got it here. It's in a big sack. But like,
I'd rather
anyway,
die.
so
It's too hot.
yeah, no, same. That shit. That was like a low key behind the scenes thing. That those outfits are way too warm. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Forgotten Podcast. This is finally episode 15. Now, I got to say, on a genuine level, it actually feels nice to be able to say that we're finally at the checkpoint for this season. We're finally able to leave this season behind, because this season has been, I don't know if we want to say hell to produce. It
Shit,
wasn't
we
really
hate
hell.
everyone who came on. You were
Every
all
one of you
assholes.
bastards. Yeah.
Some of you delayed us way too long. I know.
Oh, we're gonna talk
everything
about you
and
today.
you
We're gonna talk
didn't
about you
show up.
today. No, but like it was. This season's had its ups and downs. We're gonna be talking about it today. We're gonna be doing something that we've wanted to do for a little while, of course, which is what Jules mentioned an idea, talking about our answers to the Forgotten Seven, covering the bug fixes is what I'm calling them for this
patch
season.
notes.
Which, by the way, every season that we do, we're gonna be covering kind of what Jules said, patch notes or bug fixes, where I'm gonna cover things that we have actually changed and the reason as to why, and we'll talk about
The
them
forgotten
in the
patch
season.
notes.
Yeah, the forgotten patch notes. That's what it is. So, yeah, well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is really, 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 really good to be back here, of course. Today, here's what the description says. Apparently, I know. I didn't realize
We
actually.
wrote this
Apparently,
about 2 years ago.
I
so-
actually I didn't even know I made a description for this. I didn't know I had an introduction. But apparently, let me read the introduction. Well, it's officially the end of our 4th season of the show, and what an incredible season it has been. Season 4 has subjectively been our most consistent and also one of our most successful. We've had our most popular guest on yet, with over 500,000 subscribers. Two of our episodes from this season made it into our top 3 most popular, with one of them becoming number 1. And we've made sweeping changes that brought quality improvements to the show. Additionally, today, like in our previous Red Raid episode, or as we like to call them, channel checkpoints episodes, we'll be discussing what it was like producing each episode from this season individually and what new changes were made to the show.
We might as well make the red rated ones annual. Like it's
Yeah. Every
It's
year we're
annual
going to talk about
episodes.
this. Seriously, like that's what it is. So yeah, apparently as well, there's some also part. Additionally, we'll be talking about what you can expect to see going into our 5th season of the Forgotten Podcast, which we are calling our Golden Era.
I like how you keep reiterating. Apparently, like someone else has written this for us.
This was a
Who's
Joe
this
that I
guy?
don't even know. This was like another
Another
guy.
Joe. Three
This
of
was
us.
like done a while ago. The third Joe, 4th guy. There's another guy here. I don't even know his name. Anyway, listen, I guess we should begin with covering. We'll go down first of all the season 4
Patch
episode
notes?
list. We'll
Oh,
cover
yeah,
the
yeah.
patch list now. We'll cover the episode list.
Wait,
and
should
first of
we
all,
do what we did last time, where we just like we both like? Should we rate them out? Should we cut for it and rate?
yeah,
each
wait,
episode out of 10? Let's do it.
we'll talk about what it was like to produce the episodes, but also as well which one are. How about this? We're going to talk about all the 9 episodes that were covered, 8 episodes that were covered in the season, whatever it is. We're going to cover all them, talk about them, what it was like to produce them, but also which one was our favorite, least favorite, and why, perhaps, and funniest, perhaps. I think we done funniest before as well.
Are we funny? Yeah, go on then.
We're funny. Are they funny?
Funny
Funny, funny looking. I don't know about funny. You will say.
looking. Looking at
all
you,
right.
Liga. What?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Right, well, let's cover it right now. So, beginning with the first episode from this season, Panda X Guys, episode 41. Pandas was a high quality episode. I got to be real. That was
that
probably one
this
of my
season?
favorites. That was this
Oh my
season. Yeah,
god.
yeah. That's how long ago that
Wow.
was.
Jesus, yeah.
Pandas was a high quality episode. I actually really enjoy Pandas. Still to
Pandas
this day.
flowed really well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was just full of really good conversation, and he's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I remember we were speaking about how he was like Twitch is gonna die soon, and like it did.
And
Basically,
he was actually, he talks about Facebook gaming going down. It went
that
down.
happened.
He
Yep.
talks about TikTok's kind of rise to try and take over. That is in the midst
He
of
didn't
happening.
mention Reddit though, which has also died recently.
That's true. They went dark, did they not, or something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They'll
I
put
mean,
their
but like
curtains
he was. I mean, hey, for a guy who's like not actually in the company or anything, his knowledge was pretty spot on. Pandas went to be one of our favorite episodes, and still, I think it holds up as that, especially the fact it's in the top 3. I think what is Pandas? Is it number 1 or is it? Have to double check. I'm not entirely sure.
It's close to that, I reckon.
It's either number
Like,
1 or it's close
up
to
there.
it. I'll check right now, literally, for out of just sheer curiosity for us, because Panda's done really well, and it was a good reason why it done well. Panda's is number 1 actually. There you go, and that's kind of
Oh,
why
ever?
Panda's. Yeah, Pandas is our number 1 ever. Which fair play to him. Panda done an amazing job, and Panda was one of our smaller guests this season in terms of sub count, but he done an amazing job. It was a 10 out of
That's
10.
crazy. I know we're gonna get to it, but like in comparison, like we had Wonber on, right? And like that's
Yeah.
not number 1, which is shocking.
No, that was his came number 3 though. But like, yeah, exactly. It still was mad that he got kind of outperformed by Panda, which is like, oh,
You heard
well,
that?
there you
Those
go.
two should fight. We should get
Yes,
them in a ring.
get in a ring. You would say. So Panda was episode 1, or well, 41, of course, for the season. Episode 42, Gavoids. How could we forget?
Good was great. I
Gavoid
think
was
it
good.
I think it was worse in terms of conversation.
Flow,
It felt
yeah.
very like, oh, this is cool, but you know, I think we really rose the bar with Panda. But
Yeah,
I
I
do
think-
enjoy Gavoid's mutual interest in editing.
Yeah,
and I like his
yeah.
style. and his
Gavoid,
content
there was
is
there was
very
a
cool
there
and
was a really
unique.
good vibe with Gavoid. I really fucked with Gavoid's episode in a good way. Like
I do.
Gavoid's episode
I
was
can watch Gavoid's content.
Yeah.
I think that always helps as
yeah,
well.
that
where
was
you're
good.
like, I enjoy this.
Unlike most of our guests, we've mentioned this before. Like often I do all the research, but Joe also does research. He will look at guest channels and chat them out, like today, done it and stuff for an episode we're recording today and stuff. For the next season, you guys will be seeing soon. Obviously,
Yeah,
without
you
any
can't hear
spoilers.
about that yet.
You
We'll
can't hear
see.
about no, not yet. But like when it comes down to it, Gavoid didn't have lots of videos, and it allowed us to do all the research really we needed to do. At least for me, and Joel could do some. And Joel really messed with the stuff. I messed with it. I think Gavoid's background for his episode was my favorite. If you don't know, the background's like the thing behind our cameras that you can see, of course. Like it's like a GIF. It's like
With your
pixel art.
eyes, yeah.
We try and do the GIFs like pixel art things always to represent something similar to what we're covering or talking
It's
about.
just
some
to add a
extent.
bit more thematic stuff, and it's just
Yeah.
it's not just two face cams talking
Yeah,
at you for about
yeah,
an hour.
Yeah, exactly, and that was it. And with Gavoids, it was I think Gavoids was like a weird. I can't remember what it was. It was like some sort of conspiracy theory. Well, I really liked it. The Outcast crew used it on theirs because they liked it so
Of course
much.
they did.
Of course he did, yeah. But Gavoids was one of my favorites. Unfortunately, I will mention this. As much as I love Gavoids, he didn't share his episode when it came out. We put a lot of time and love into his,
Yeah.
and that was something that did bug me. Gavoid, like with all our guests that come on the show, it's not by any means, deliberately agreed upon or said by either of us to the guests.
It's not
but
a necessity, but it's
No,
like,
but
I think
it's like a
when
common
you
courtesy.
commission art for someone, right? Like
Yeah.
you're still gonna want to be like, if someone asks who did that, you say them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's kind of a common courtesy to share the episode, and because it's our baby, but it's also like you represent what episode what happens to episode. I know it sounds weird, but like
yes.
you represent what happens to episode
We're
as
just
well.
two
So
dads.
that's what it is. Just two dads. That's what it is. But no, so Gavoids was good. It was good for vibes.
No, it was a good episode. I just think
I
like
was
I
gutted he
said,
didn't
with,
share
with
it.
Panda like prior to it. It's
Panda
kinda
set
like,
the
oh.
bar so high for the beginning of the season. It was like a blast off at the beginning. Episode 43, The Three Amigos. Kiwi came back on. It was a return episode. This was kind of a sequel to episode 13, I think it was, which was the Forgotten Third podcast host. It was kind of bad. It was good,
I was
but
gonna
it was
say
bad.
that. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I think I'm biased because it's obviously my
Kiwi.
nostalgia. And
Yeah.
obviously I know Kiwi, but at the same time, me and Kiwi don't speak anymore, and it's upsetting.
Yeah.
But I just know Kiwi just doesn't care about what we do anymore, or the idea of like
No.
he says he does with content creation, but I don't think he does.
He doesn't.
And I think just
yeah.
his presentation because of that showed. You can really tell when someone's passionate about something, and when they come on and go, "Yeah, I kind of want to do content on this game, but it's not something that I want to get into. I just want to kind of do it." Like, it's kind of different as opposed to I've got these projects, this thing.
I'm doing
which a
it,
lot
that's
of our
just something I
guests
love.
have. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so. I think where that was absent, it became kind of. It was a good episode in terms of it was three guys just chilling and more chatting and having a good time. That was great. But in terms of our usual format and construct, I don't think it was, as perfect as it
As
could have
good.
been. And that's
Yeah.
not just because of us. I think that was mainly because of his reciprocation.
I think I really agree with Joe. I mean, Joe put it really well. I mean, he couldn't have worded that better. I mean, it was fun for us. I think it was for us that episode for the nostalgia.
Mm.
Inherently, Kiwi's a good friend of ours. Kieran, his name is Kieran. But Kieran, he's a good friend of ours. We've known him for years. Kieran's episode was more of a remake of an older episode. It was kind of like we done episode 13 way back when we had really bad quality. We done it on the PlayStation. We recorded via party chat. And that was me, Kieran, and Joe. And I mean, I still love that episode inherently for nostalgia. Joe done the editing, and I did like Call of Duty gameplay and Forza
It was
gameplay and
loads of
stuff.
different gameplay.
It was Forza
it was just stuff
gameplay and
that
Call
you
of Duty
guys
and
played.
GTA. Yeah, and it was kind of nostalgic to see that gameplay, but also as well the conversations we had. But me and Joe used this episode the same way we used that as kind of a reason to get Kieran back on into our life stuff, a conversation, a catch up. But I think we came away unfortunately with the understanding that he isn't going to change. Kiwi is who he is. Like, God loved him. I love him to bits.
Yeah,
I really
there's
fucking
nothing
love
wrong
him.
with that. He's just very set in his ways where he's been absent. And it's fair dibs. Like, we did an episode prior to this, not going to say who it was, obviously, but they were making the same sort of point, saying that, some people just go off and do their own thing, and that's completely fine and normal.
It's a
But
part of life as
people
much as
just
you might
do.
dislike it. That's what it is. And Kieran, we've been wanting him to do YouTube for ages. If you was wondering in that episode, if you watched it, if anybody's seen episode 43, we did even say to Kieran, listen, are you going to start going back to YouTube? He said, I'm going to start, I'm going to do it. And his mother, who was in the episode, funnily enough, it's a weird episode, but like his mum, who was there, even
That's not
she'd
an insult,
actually,
by the way.
no, she'd actually even said to him, apparently, you should do it. Those guys really seem genuine. He told me that behind the scenes, but he never done it. He never
After
made
the
anything.
sesh, yeah.
Yeah, he never came back to us, never made anything, never done anything, and it's a shame. That will be the last time I think Kieran comes onto the show because I think we're kind of done with the whole
Do you
getting him on.
actively speak to Kiwi anymore? Because I don't.
He messages me
I've
on the odd
never had
occasion.
proper contact.
He messages me on the odd occasion on Facebook, maybe with the odd thing. He sent me a photo of I think it was channel art or something like that from years ago that he found. It was like with the do you know doing, like the thing with the Sonic guy that they put
The
Uganda Knuckles. Yeah, he had like that photoshopped on my old cat outfit with the old hat and the orange hoodie. You remember? Yeah. He sent me that, and I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy. How'd you find out?" It was a quick conversation, but we barely speak. So that was 43.
Yeah,
that was
I agree.
43. 44. Wumba. Anxiety. I feel like is the word that puts me on that episode.
I disagree on anxiety, but it was a good episode. But may
It was.
I throw out the word underwhelming?
Well, for me, there was a lot of anxiety. Joe and I, there's behind the scenes that you can see when we do release all these episodes unedited. But you can see that Joe was a lot more calm than I was in that regard. I was very nervous because
Yeah.
I knew how important this was. I actually was getting a shirt on and stuff to look smarter and trying to look a lot more presentable. I couldn't fucking tie a tie. And it was like, it was really like last minute. I was kind of worried because I wasn't going to be able to do the episode or something came up, but we managed to make it work or something. It was some sort of issue, but we got it to work. Wumba's was good. Wumba's was good. Like God love to Walker. It was good.
Episode.
No, Walker's was it was good. I would say
I think-
it was good, but it could have been better perhaps in some aspects.
I mean, when it comes to it, I think Wamba is a pretty decent personality. I think he's got really good content. Like, I don't do much Minecraft stuff. I don't really ever play Minecraft. I play the odd few mini games, etc., and watch some content here and there, but very little. And if I do, it's usually like Minecraft hardcore stuff, right?
Yeah.
I like that element of Minecraft, not like, oh, we're gonna make a FMP and all that rubbish. I feel like it's a bit washed down at the moment. But,
yeah, it's been done.
Yeah, it got to that point where I can enjoy his content, but past that, it was kind of like, it was not much else to really speak about on my
it
terms.
was. Well, I done the research and we found out about him being the Domino World Champ, which is kind of cool. That was not World Champ, but Domino USA Champion and stuff. And there were some cool things, but there wasn't a lot of, unlike with Gavoy, there wasn't a lot of common ground, I feel like was the word.
No, I think
There wasn't a lot of common
it
ground
gets to
between
a
you and him.
point-
To me, there was with
Yeah.
some Minecraft stuff, but not a lot either.
I think you need, you can start to see with some guests how well they adapt to having more personalities to speak to, right? Because I think
Yeah.
me and you are quite vastly different in some ways, but also very similar. But there
mhm.
are some guests that I think we've had on that know how to communicate with people like that are too different, and some people that can only hone on me or hone
One
in on
or you, yeah. I think
Yeah,
there's people
'cause
that work
it's-
better
yeah.
with one or the other. I think Wumba and I, we work better because I've already spoken as well to Walker privately and stuff beforehand. So we already had that kind of, I wouldn't say relationship because we weren't really close. But Walker's a good guy, but we weren't really like that
Yeah,
close.
of course.
So it was
he's really chill.
Yeah,
It's
he
just
was chill.
in terms of episode.
I think it doesn't hit the like. It wasn't like the best of the season in terms of like vibes, but it was a great episode. I mean, Walker. And
Yeah.
to be fair, Walker done as a massive thing, which he didn't have to do, and that was he shared the episode for only like I think it was like a 12 hours or something like that in his community tab, but he did share it, and that got
Yeah.
like 2,800 views. So his episode is like the number 3 on our entire watched best like top most popular, which was huge for us. That was a huge opportunity. We really meant that. He was the biggest guest we've ever had on. It's unfathomable to some extent. It was a real benchmark episode. So once again, thank you to Walker for that.
We might agree on the same favorite one. I don't know. We're not going to say it just yet.
We're not
'cause
gonna say
go
we'll say at the
over all
very
of them.
end. Yeah.
But I do want to say, if we were to rank all of them on a proper tier list properly, I do think they would vary, which I think is
Yes.
good.
Yeah, definitely. Next, obviously, episode 45, our first gold rated episode, the Outcast podcast collaboration.
We disagree on this.
We do disagree on this. We do
I
do
remember
disagree on
the
this
first thing
already.
you sent to me after this recording was, "Wow, bro, that was shit."
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, I did. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. I don't know if the boys, Xavier, Cheese, Axel, of course, as well, and Hilo know this,
So
but
this
I
is
was not a
basically what
fan.
Joe's doing to the Outcast podcast right now.
Don't do that. Don't do
I'm
that.
joking. I'm joking.
I wasn't a fan of the episode. So Joe and I have different perspectives on it. Joe really enjoyed the experience. He really enjoyed it. He was,
I
it was
really
awesome.
liked it. I think I'm a bit fond of podcasts that are a bit more fluid. Like, I like our scripts and I like how we can go in detail and stuff, and that is really
But
cool. And it's
you
a good
prefer the
format.
more fluid, chill ones.
But I do like the fluid chill stuff. Like, I like this episode. I'm having a lot of fun with this, for example. I think I'm much better on the spot than I am reading a script in this
For sure.
context. If
Yeah.
it's a video, different story. But it's stuff like that, I completely vibe with. It's like I listen to a lot of podcasts like Misfits, Misfits, Help I Sex to My Boss, and there's 2 others as well. Trash Taste I really like, and they're all very much like, here are some vague things we want to speak about. Let's talk about it. I like that sort of thing.
There's
so
no
I
script.
enjoyed
It's
that.
just kind of like a vague topic, and they kind of go from there.
Yeah.
I that's the thing with me and Joe. We kind of went different ways in that regard because I do like that, but we did do it when we first started the show. We done like rough topics of Green Rated, which is what we consider Green Rated episodes now, where we talk about random topics. But we didn't really openly talk about them because we felt they were a little bit lackluster, or they didn't really
I
have much
also
fluid.
think when we did do those, we constricted ourselves a bit too much.
Yeah, the
think what we
topics at
did
hand
was-
were the KSI fight, the fucking
And
Mr.
then
Beast situation.
We never
you
had
know,
an
Copper,
opportunity to spiral. It was just kind
Yeah.
of, we have to speak about this for an hour, and it's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it was no
No.
good. No. No, not a fan. So we have different opinions. I want to just clarify with episode 45. I liked the episode for what it is and for the history. Don't say that. I liked it for what it is. I had constructive criticism already at the gate before we even recorded it. This is like behind the scenes, 100% real with people. I love Axel and I love the whole of the Outcast crew. Axel is no longer a part of the Outcast crew, by the way, just to clarify now. That's kind of, we've already talked about this. But this was like kind of foreseeable with that. With the Outcast crew, the problem that I had with it was I was you know, like, all right, we're planning this out, etc. We're gonna do a podcast collaboration. This is our first one. Initially, we were meant to do it with another guy and with his other podcast host. That didn't come through. That didn't happen. And then that was for episode 35, and that's how we got Xavier on, and that's how that happened. Xavier's was a great episode. So for this time, we went right. You know, we're now working with the Outcast crew to like pay for the StreamYard thing that we all pay for and we all use. So we went, we'll get them on. It makes sense. Even if they're very small, we'll get them on. You know what I mean? We can work together. It's not about size. My issue going into it was I don't know how to word this, but it was kind of like a fact. I didn't
Like
really want
them as
access.
people.
No, Joe, God damn, you bastard. You know what I'm saying? Fucking me up. But like, I didn't want Axel there inherently, and that sounds really bad. I love Axel. Axel's like one of my good best friends. Like on YouTube and stuff, like for like my community. Axel's like absolutely a gem. Like I love her a bit. She's amazing. But I said this to Xavier and to Hilo privately, you know, in general. I thought that Axel really maybe shouldn't have been there. Right, I don't want you giggling. I thought Axel maybe shouldn't have been there and whatnot because Axel doesn't speak as much as Xavier, Cheese, and Hilo. It was just a given thing. And she also doesn't use Facecam. Xavier, Cheese, and Hilo all have Facecam, although Xavier prefers not to use his. They all have it. So my 2 constructive criticisms was Xavier needed to use Facecam to make it all more personalized so we can all see each other and it's a more special event, especially because Xavier uses his VTuber avatar in episode 35, and Axel maybe shouldn't be there. Because I wasn't against her being there. It was just that you're watching me dig this grave and like laughing at me. It's unreal.
Have you seen
like,
my tagline?
Oh shit! You was I just seen it, you dick. It was like
For
it
the
like
audio
it wasn't.
viewers, I put CMJ as sexist.
But like no, like it wasn't even anything bad. It was just that I didn't think Axel should be there because I didn't think Axel was going to contribute as much as with others. But and this is the thing, Axel did. She did. She jumped in and she did contribute. Not as much as the others in the grand scheme, but she did pitch in and she did contribute, and I did appreciate that. I also felt horrible because Axel and I had a bit of like the first ever time we had a bit of an issue, and like she was annoyed that like I just didn't say to her directly what the problem was or something like that.
I've never heard so many slurs go back and forth in the span of like 5 minutes. It was absolutely cutthroat.
Don't say that. You know what I'm saying?
He was bullying this woman.
I was not. You would dude. But no. So inherently, though, obviously, you know that's how it went. My dislike towards the episode was just the overall end result. The two things that I'd wanted it to be done didn't happen, and I'm quite kind of specific in how I want my vision to be kind of done. So because of that, Xavier didn't do face cam. He wasn't comfortable with it. He wanted to go VTuber. I was a bit miffed. I was like, fuck, I kind of want him to be, face cam. But I get it. It's it's his
another
it's
disagreement
his
we had as well. I think
you prefer VTuber.
Well, I don't prefer VTubers in general, but I was saying to you, and I was surprised you didn't think the same way, because this is but this is like the same sort. I've been converted, shit. But it's one of those things where I'm surprised you didn't go, oh, but they're really popular at the moment, we should include that.
No,
VTubers have been very, very big for a long time now. Well, I say a long time, relatively long time in terms of recently. And I know a lot of people that have VTuber. Lucy wants a VTuber one. Like, I wouldn't mind having one. I get the appeal.
I mean, Xavier's episode done well. I mean, remember when because I wasn't the biggest fan of the VTuber thing, but he done it on his episode. And his episode done really fucking well, and it was amazing and funny, and it was great.
I actually think that's probably
I was proven wrong. I was proven wrong. It's not like I was wrong. His episode done well.
This isn't me being rude to Xavier either, by the way, but Xavier hasn't got a massive following, but he has a VTuber model, so I do think it really helped him out, and he deserves it because he's a great guy.
So, I mean, it was just I personally wish the episode went a little bit differently, but I was still happy with it. It was still good. I just didn't think it was as good as Joe did, and that was our creative difference there. So that was 45. It was still an amazing experience. I enjoyed having Cheese, Xavier, and Axel, of course, and Hilo on. Xavier won, didn't he? He won the whole thing.
Yeah, I got shit.
Xavier
on. I think I'm last.
Yeah, I think I thought I came last. I came last. I'm pretty sure I came last. We came second to last. We got fucked on our own show. Like talk about getting fucking screwed. So that was episode 45, of course. First podcast collab. I think that it was good, but definitely the next one would be better because we've got more experience. Episode 46, one of my fucking favorites from the season, Cassandra Lynn. Cassandra Lynn was the first of the Halloween rated episodes. There was meant to be 3 of which, but there was only 2. We'll talk about that,
and
of course.
And it was extra scary because there was a woman on the podcast.
Yes, the woman. This was actually the first time, aside from Axel, of course, episode 45. This was the first time we'd have...
It sounds like you really hate Axel at this time.
No, don't say that. You would say, no, I'm making a point. But aside from Axel coming on for episode 45...
I'm joking.
Yeah, fucking bastard. You were saying... But aside from Axel coming on from episode 45, right? This was the first time we'd had a woman on our podcast since... Holy shit. Let me keep scrolling. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Teddy's episode.
Yeah, I was going to say Teddy.
From episode 7 to episode 46. So almost 40 episodes and 3 years. That was our first time getting a girl on. It was unreal. But it was an amazing episode. Cassandra Lynn's I done so much research for and so much work and time and effort into. And I really was excited for it. Cassandra came prepared. She had a Halloween outfit on. Face cam. Good audio quality. Good face cam quality. And it was good. Cassandra had vibes. It was very different though, because Cassandra's older than both of me and Joe. She's an adult. She's got a kid and stuff like that, like full-on adult. And with that, it was a very different kind of in that regard. But it was really cool. We vibed. It was awesome. Joe got good conversation, and I got good conversation. And it was our favorite time of year, October, which is mine.
One of the best when it came to, like I said earlier, when you cater to both people.
She worked with both of us really well.
We were joking about dark humor, and then she would make dark jokes. Because I swear she worked at a morgue or something.
Yeah, she did. Her and her now husband. Remember, that's how they met.
And I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy. I love that.
Yeah. She was just
till death do we part and all that.
Yeah, and it was like Cassandra had a really good vibe. Cassandra was awesome. She was really chill but smart and funny, and I loved it. As probably one of my favorite episodes of all time. And it will be. I mean, I got to say that now.
She strikes me as a cool auntie.
Yeah, she really does. She's got that kind of awesome vibe. Cassandra, by the way, may I add, since then, kept in touch with me. She messages me on Discord every now and again. How are you doing? How are things going? She messages, and it's like, I love that. See, when a guest comes on our show and doesn't just forget about us, and doesn't just never want to speak, I guess. When someone keeps in touch and hey man, I hope you're doing well. It's I really like that. I consider Cassandra a good friend of my channel and a good friend of the community. Cassandra's to message me needs something, I'd definitely do it. Cassandra was fucking awesome. So 10 out of 10 episode. It was
agree.
also as well, Cassandra's was a somewhat sequel to Wumba's, because Wumba and Cassandra had a connected episode, which is something that we often do with some episodes. And the connection was that I met both of them together because of Wumba's SMP that he's making. We talked about Wumba's episode, and then I talked about also Cassandra's. So it was really fascinating, and it was like kind of the first of the connection via Wumba, which is there will be more of it at some point without giving any spoilers. But yeah, it was really freaking cool. So she was an amazing guest. I love her to bits. She was absolutely awesome. Episode 47, the Z-Storm
Absolute
episode.
Peak. Best thing I've ever made in the world. Just saying, it's my second fully controlled video, and I think it was excellent. I just think it was a good time.
Joe directed episode 47, and my god, it was fucking sweet. That
Not
script,
that ICOps gave me much to work with.
yeah, that was. I mean, Joe directed Ices and Z-Storms, and Ices still goes down as one of the most like color coded correctly. Like if you watch Icy's episode, the lights in my background are purple, his episode's purple, he's got the purple out. It was all like really good vibes. It was odd and off, but
It's
it was
not a good look when you're like, yeah, it's one of the most color coded episodes. It's
Yeah,
it's
like,
all
I was done.
purple.
It was all purple. But like no, but it was good. Z was a class act. God love him. Like Z's was a class act episode. I think what
It's
I love
crazy,
about
right?
Cassandra's and Z's was it was done in October. Sorry to cut in, but
Yeah,
that was
that's right.
our only 2 ever Halloween rated episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the only 2 on the entire channel that have the Halloween coating and rating beside them, which is like the Halloween versions of our avatars and the Jason mask, which I think is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
think
go
it
ahead.
was awesome. I was just gonna say it's crazy, right? Because I speak to Z a shit ton, right? We're like very close friends. But it's also crazy that was my first time being in a call with him. And it's similar because you've had that happen a few times with other creators.
Yeah.
Some recent, some not so recent as well. And recently as well, like after the podcast, it was still just texts and video collabs and stuff, which is great. But then we got into a call not too long ago, and we just like, oh, I need to test my microphone. Can I call you for like 2 minutes? And we sat in there for about an hour and like 10 minutes just chatting, and it was great. But no, I think he's just like, he's got a lot going on. I think he's great, and I like his persona. I like his character. He's flawless,
Yeah,
I think.
it was just great. I mean, Z's was a really odd episode as well, because for anybody wondering, Z's wasn't actually really kind of planned. It was, but it wasn't. Like, I actually kind of harassed Joe into getting him on. I was like, Joe, Joe knows. Joe
Yeah,
and
no,
Joe and him
he
worked
did.
together on Joe's video, which was what was it, the Turbo Overkill video.
It was,
wasn't it?
yeah, we did Turbo Overkill.
Yeah. They done Turbo.
Then we did Skyla- then, no, yeah, so we
no,
did.
it's Splatoon, was it not?
No. So I did Turbo Overkill on my channel. Then we went on
Right.
his channel, and I think we did Toys to Life. And
Right,
then we
right.
did another one on my channel, which was Skylanders, which was kind
Right.
of also Toys to Life, but not specifically on the topic and more on the franchise. If that makes sense.
Well, I saw the Turbo Overkill video, and Joe was talking highly about this guy, and I saw the Turbo Overkill video and went, "Fuck me!" Like, it's still to this day one of Joe's best videos, in my opinion. I watched it. The Skylanders video, I think takes number 1 because of how high quality it was and how much work and effort went into it. It really was insane. But the Turbo Overkill video, I watched it and went, Joe, I fucking
Have you
love
seen
this
After
guy.
Dark Retrospective, by the way?
I've not watched that yet. I've got to
need
watch
to
it.
do
I've still
that.
to watch it. I am going to have to watch and give my rating. I'm dead ass. But like Joe knows, I watch his videos. I watch them in full. But unlike a lot of friends, I'll maybe jump in and drop a like and maybe watch a bit of it. But with Joe's, I try and watch him in full so I can let him know my opinion and like kind of go from there. Because I love to see Joe's shit. I've said this countless times before, and I'll say it again. At some point, Joe's going to really pop off fucking big because people are going to get into like he's going to put one video out, it's going to blow up and do amazingly well, and people are going to go and go back through his back catalog of great content and go, holy shit, it's
Don't go back too
all
far,
good.
though.
Well, you don't, not too far, perhaps. You know what I'm saying, but like it was mad. You know what I mean? So
It is funny though,
and
because you did kind of like not I wouldn't say harass me, but in a
but
funny
it,
way,
no,
yes,
but
you
it, like
did.
in a funny
But-
way, yeah.
but what
Because
I
I
wanna
was like,
say,
you need to
though-
get him on, get him on.
Yeah,
That
but
was it.
I've always wanted to get Z Stum on, even before you were asking me. But at the time, I think he had 200 to 500 subs,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I don't. It's not the numbers thing, but I just don't.
But you don't want to get him on
pressure
too
him,
early.
and
Yeah,
I don't want him to feel like he has nothing to speak about.
No,
you
I
know.
think we have a thing, me and Joe. There's a thing for the show where people can request to come on at 500 subs, right? For example, that's a bare minimum. But
It cost him a tenner as well.
dick, you know what I'm saying? But like people can request to come on with 500 subs. Shut up. They
That's
can request
funny,
to come
I
on
thought
with
it was,
500
you know.
subs. It was good. It was good. They can request to come on at 500 subs, but we might not always accept them coming on them because sometimes people, even if they have 500 subs, just might not have enough to talk about. For example, one person, or they might not be at the peak that we think they need to be at before they can come on, where they'll be perfect to come on, they'll be ready, because we don't get someone on prematurely before they're at the like the right level.
Like
it,
Axo, who has
like,
got
oh
nothing
my
going
god,
on.
stop! You're saying stop it. Why are you bullying me, man? That's a shit.
Because it's funny. man.
Outrageous. Axel, I love you. I'm sorry. This is not like a bad thing, right? Like, my God, right? But like, no, right. Anyway, my point though was like, for example, like Cheese Master, right? This bully Cheese.
Okay.
Cheese is brilliant, and I want him on the show one day. But I'm waiting until he gets to the
Oh,
right
but
level
no,
because
he's going to peak at some point.
oh, he
He's
is for sure.
spiraling content-wise.
Oh, but honestly, he's going to do really
Upwards.
good. When it comes to it, Cheese has an amazing career, like Z Storm, exactly the same. A really fucking good career who makes good content. Really good. Miles Perry, a good friend of ours as well. He makes great content as well. Miles is a great
Did
guy.
you see his
They-
serial reveal recently?
yeah,
His
I saw. I
serial
watched that. I
review.
watched. It was funny as hell. But like Miles has got good quality, and so is Cheese, and they're really good content creators. But I don't want to get them on. Same with Fed Stuns as well, and a good few other friends. There's so many people I'm not mentioning, but I mean there's a lot of them. But if we get them on now when they're not at that right part to talk about these things, they will go on to resent the episode, and I don't want that.
We have a very good example of this, and I'm gonna leave a pause here,
Go on.
just in case you want to cut this bit, because I know that this, yeah. We have an example of a few creators coming on early, and they are doing okay, but they've
Oh, yeah.
rocketed as of recently.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
Am I gonna say the name, or
Go ahead.
can we
You
leave
can
it
say
blank?
that. You go ahead.
Yeah, so we had Teddy on. We mentioned her briefly earlier, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think at the time what she had like 3K, something like that.
Yeah,
It's, like,
Teddy had I
roughly
think
around there.
the Jite crew when she was a part of that crew.
Yeah,
she had
she
about
was with
3
a
to
group
6
at the time.
Yeah,
3 to
3 to
6K,
6.
and
So still
she was with a
Blu-ray
group of
and-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that sort of thing. Now she's an individual Roblox creator with like over 100K.
250
It's
250
crazy.
plus thousand, it's
250K.
mad.
There you go.
Quarter of a million. Yeah,
So
and,
goes
and,
to
and
show.
Teddy. But the point is, not to say too much about it because it's kind of like what we aren't really meant to say too much. We don't want to say too much. But with Teddy is now kind of gone on to resent her episode a bit, and she doesn't really like it. That's kind of like the thing. So it's just the thing. So we don't want people to come on and go on to resent their episodes because they came on too prematurely. We want them to come on when they're ready, when we think they're ready, and when they think they're ready, and mainly when we think they're ready. Because I want to be to look at the channel and go, there's enough of your content there to produce a beautiful
And if you
script.
guys
talk
do
about them.
think about wanting to come on, strive for a Z Storm episode, not a Rolly.
Yeah,
Egg.
yeah. Oh, that is a good one. Down here,
That's-
up here. You're
that's-
saying,
Okay,
God
I'm
love
not
to
going to do a
Rolly.
tier list just yet. We need to do one at some point. Like I'll make a chart, and we should actually do it on
the
screen
whole
at some
series.
point.
We'll do maybe
But-
like
I'll
all of
comment
them.
on 2 at the moment. S tier Z Storm, absolutely bottom tier Rolly Egg. I'm sorry, Rolly Egg, but fuck you.
there you go. You say God love to
We're
Rolly, but
cutthroat
yeah,
today.
yeah, God
We're
love to Rolly.
cutthroat.
I'm sorry, man. Well, that was Z Storm's 10 out of 10 episode, and then we get to the more recent stuff. So. Oh, episode 48, the episode that never happened. This was a fuck about. My God. What can we really say that hasn't already been said?
Well,
Episode
to be fair,
48.
Nothing.
Go ahead. Yeah, episode 48 was meant to be Costant's episode. It was Coda's episode, Costant or Coda.
Well,
However, the reason why the
2.
entire season took so long to produce, like to finish, like this season to get to episode 50 took so long to finish, is literally because of Coda. Like, I love him. Coda's a good friend of mine. I love him to bits. He's like a
Joe's
brother,
going
right?
in today.
No, but I'm being real. He's like a brother. I love him to bits, right? I really, truly do. But Coda, unfortunately, is really busy. He's in Canada as well, and because of the time difference and the fact he works and stuff, it's made it really difficult for us all to get together and record. All of us, Joe's got work, I've got stuff, I have stuff to do, and so is Coda. But unfortunately, it's made it really difficult for us to record. But on the 2 different occasions that we did manage to record, fucking God hated us. I don't know what it was, right? The first time, right? The first time, and this is 6 months of waiting. We were waiting from October. That, by the way, right after Z Storm's episode came out, the next week was maybe Coda's. We were keeping a consistency. By the way, from episode 40 to episode 48, right, or 47, we'd been consistent for like I think it was like 13 weeks.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was good. And I remember we dropped off.
No,
We're like, yeah, we can wait 1 more week.
yeah, like
then just-
if we go to it, right, just to be specific, that's what it was. We came back after Icy's episode because we took a massive hiatus. We came back after Icy's because we were burnt out. Then episode 30 with Mr. Vloop, right, which was amazing. Then episode 39, then Breaking Point, and then the whole of the next season kind of thing, right up until obviously episode 47. Episode 48 was meant to get done, and then Coda said just before we went to record it that week, so we'd have it ready for next week and stuff. I've got COVID. We went, oh fuck, okay, man. I'm feeling ill. I'm being sick. I went, no, it's cool. We'll delay it by a week. We've got an extra week. We'll be okay, because we were recording in advance a little bit, and we delayed, and then eventually the delay just grew and grew and grew. And this was in October as well. So Coda's would be another Halloween rated. So would have Leaguers if it done on time. But yeah, Coda's never happened. And then when we did go to record it 2 different times, kind of more recent-ish, and this was like, again, this is only like 8 months or 6 months after his episode was meant to come out. The first time it messed up because Koda's camera, his cable for it was broken. And Koda has like a couple £1,000 camera. It's a really expensive and high quality camera, like better than either of mine or Joe's, like really good. But it was broken. And we went, we're not going to wait 6 or 7 months to then not do it with face cam. We went, Ken, we sat there for 50 odd minutes an hour, whatever it was.
In hindsight, we should have done.
we should have. We really should have. We really should have done. Like, dead serious. But we didn't, inherently. And because of that, Koda ended up going, we'll just do it next week, right? Because this was on the Thursday. We'll do it next Thursday. We went, okay, Koda will get a new cable. He'll get it fixed. And we'll have the webcam and stuff back. And we'll go from there. Which will be cool. It's not like anything's going to be broken. 1 week passes. The next week, Joe was broken. Joe's Wi-Fi, for some reason, Joe still doesn't know. We've been trying to work with it. Right now, it's great.
I'm almost certain there is some, like, goblin that lives under my house that steals my Wi-Fi from time to time. Just like the fucking Kill Me Joe is, like, stealing my Wi-Fi.
That's what it is.
Just absolutely obliterating it somehow.
It's fucked. But Joe's Wi-Fi the second week was just giving him such hell. Like, it wasn't even like Joe was, like, okay, like his visual was off, but his audio was fine. No. Joe had a delay. Joe was angry. Like, if you watch episode 30 or 48, excuse me, like I edited the episode because like I was doing the edits for that one, right? Because I thought, well, instead of scrapping it, because we had 2 hours worth of footage. Even if Joe was editing, once we do make Koda's episode right in the future, because Joe's initial plan was once we do make Koda's episode, we'll edit those 2 ones, kind of like outtakes into it, kind of thing. Like Joe normally does that. He'll sprinkle in. He's good at what he does with that, right? But Joe and I both know you can't edit that 2 hours worth of footage into a little bit, like a minute long into an episode. It's just you're going to lose so much content and footage and media. So I went, we'll make something out of it. The episode that never happened, gave me the idea. It's a great episode title because it never happened. And it was funny. We had some funny moments. The first time it's kind of me and Joe more bullying Koda. Go craft a camera is like one of the specific lines that I love when I was like shouting at him because he's going to go like make a coffee.
I love the bit where like my Wi-Fi's acting up and then like I get past my dinner because like they just brought my dinner up for me.
Yeah.
And you're like, where the fuck did you get a bowl of pasta from? It's like I just like got it
Joe's
out
Wi-Fi, yeah. If you watch the episode, it was fucked because the part 1 was more all me and Joe taking the piss out of Koda, right? And then me getting progressively more like kind of like angry and kind of fucked up. The second week was like me and Koda taking the piss out of Joe, and Joe's just getting annoyed. Like Joe's wound up because his Wi-Fi's packing in, and me and Koda are bullying him and annoying him. And like Joe, like it was that bad that like at points if you watch it in the footage, it looks like Joe freezes, but it's a Wi-Fi, and you'll see Joe teleport from where he's at right now to somewhere else.
Out of that episode, that is kind of fucking hilarious.
What?
Speak of the devil, Z-Storm sent me a picture of myself.
Oh, is this the Nazi?
No, what's the Nazi?
Wait, what? Oh, what? Shit, no, nothing.
Yeah, what have you done? No, what have you done?
No, if you not watched the full episode, you can watch the full episode. You do something very inappropriate.
Oh, have I like accidentally saluted and you froze it?
I didn't freeze it. Your camera froze because of the Wi-Fi.
Oh, I've not sent. Okay, well, he hasn't sent me that yet, but I'm gonna get it after this episode now. I'm gonna quickly just send it to you. I know this is like podcast.
No, go ahead.
I get this, and he goes, "I love this screenshot."
Where you sent it? Discord?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Oh, Joe putting this in his mouth. Look at this.
Mugs me off.
Oh my god, it's brilliant. There's so many moments. There's a moment in it right where like Joe's like I think he's away from his desk getting his food, and then he comes back, but because of the camera lagging, he goes from like being here suddenly to like here, just sat in his chair, like within a frame.
Teleport with food.
Yeah, and honestly, you hear him like that's when Joe sits down on his chair, it makes like a little noise kind of thing. It's not a loud noise, but you'll hear it. Like it's like a really noise, and because of the blue, you can hear it, and you hear it. So it's like Joe just teleports like an Enderman into his fucking chair. It's if you watch it, you'll see it. Yeah, literally, that's what it should have been. But like no, so episode 48 was I think that it was recovered in the editing to some extent. It was funny, but it definitely was not what we wanted it to be. But it was funny. At least the footage got used, and that was that. So that was not bad. It was though a bit of a sad episode because we still haven't done quotas, and that is not hoping to. We're going to see that the whole of the season coming. So anybody wondering, the next season episode or season 5, 50 to 60, you will not see quotas episode as far as we're aware.
Another 8 months. So.
Yeah, so it might be in the 60s, which is kind of unfortunate because it was written for this season, and it's unfortunate. And that takes us to the last of the season, which is episode 49, Leaguer Gaming. What can we say about Leaguers?
Can I just say, and this is really bad, I don't remember a single thing from Leaguers episode.
Leaguers was good. I gotta say, I really enjoyed Leaguers script. I really enjoyed Leaguers episode. Leaguers was funny. Leaguer, probably one of the funniest moments we had with Joe is when he said that Joe looks like he's in his 30s.
Okay, I do remember Liga
Now
now.
you remember, yeah, I knew you remember
I do.
that line. Liger was like, he
Yeah, of
looks like
course
he's
I
in his
do.
30s. Liger's episode
Yeah.
unfortunately had a few technical hiccups. It was a really annoying thing, but Liger's Wi-Fi wasn't the best. He also didn't have a face cam. His mic quality wasn't the best. It was kind of subpar in terms of the high levels of quality that we'd want, which is really unfortunate because Liger is a really lovely guy. Like, I actually really appreciate him. He's a lovely guy, and he's been nothing but a gentleman to me. But his episode in terms of quality could have been better. And it's unfortunate. We did want him to have face cam. We'd actually asked about it, and he said he couldn't do it, and there was a few other hiccups. And it wasn't as I think it wasn't as good as it could be in terms of quality. Unfortunately, I think that goes kind of always when there's like a guest that doesn't have face cam, or doesn't have some sort of way of showing their face. But like, I mean, and regarding, or excuse me, excluding Z Storms and stuff and a few others, giveaways and stuff, who don't actually show their face, like that's different. But it was good, but it just could have been better. So that was my opinion on it. I don't really have much more to say about it. It was a good episode. It feels like it was good, but I think that it could have been better maybe in some aspects in hindsight. But I think it was still good.
Yeah.
Just in
But
terms
I
of
feel like you
quality.
can say that about any project, can't you? And you're just
That's
never
kinda
get it
true.
finished.
So,
So
I mean,
favorite, least favorite?
right? Are we gonna do what? Least favorite first? How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Oh God.
I'm
I
gonna have to
look
have a
at
little
this.
think. I think I've got. I'd say yeah. I've got
I've
my
got
least
mine.
favorite.
I've got mine. I've definitely got. I fought
I've
for
got
it, and I was like, no, I've definitely got it.
Yeah. All right. My least favorite. I'll go for mine's. Well, episode 48.
Which one was that? My brain.
The episode that
Oh,
never
the
happened.
episode that never happened. I was between that one and the Three Amigos.
Same. That's where I was in between both
Um,
two Green Raid.
And to be honest, I think I prefer the one that never happened. Purely based off the fact that stuff like that has happened where I've had messages from Z-Storm like, oh, that was funny. That was good.
Yeah.
Didn't
No. I
get
mean,
anything
people.
like that with the
No,
keyboard.
it
'Cause I
was
think
Three
that
Amigos.
was more for us, and yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I think that when it comes down to me, the reason why I dislike the episode for what it is it's my least favorite of the season because I know what it could have been. That's really what it is. It was
It's
funny.
definitely my least. It's my second
No,
least favorite though.
Yeah, it definitely, like, I mean, of the season, yeah, and like when it
Oh,
comes
yeah,
down
yeah.
to it, yeah, not
Probably.
like Rollies is our least favorite ever. You must say, okay. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm
No,
not.
that's true. That's not, I'm not either. It's Shifteries and probably Shifteries then Rollies most likely. If I had to go back, anyway.
No.
But
There needs to be another space and then shift. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. But no, so yeah, when it comes down to it, the reason why I disliked it is not because I dislike Cole. I love him to bits, but it was because of the frustration that came into us actually getting that episode done, how much it held us back, the level of it not being the best it could be. Unfortunately, I was also, like Joe said, though, caught between both the Green Rated because the Three Amigos was good, but it wasn't that good, and it was funny, but it wasn't that funny. It was the Three Amigos was good though for me, and
I
funny for me
argue
in some
this
aspects.
episode is funnier than both
Yeah,
of
then the
them.
Three Amigos. Yeah. Subjectively, like that's kind of the case. Yeah, I'd say so, but that's because we're more fluidly with it. So that'd be least favorite for me, least favorite for him. What would you say has been your favorite from the season, and
Do
why?
I need to say a word?
Well, I mean, you can go ahead. We
Well,
already know.
Z-Storms. Yeah, Z-Storms was great. I've already praised it without us having to go over the favorite part, but yeah, Z-Storms
Yeah.
for sure.
Fair enough. I'm kind of caught between two, and that is
Well, I did
Cassandra
like
Lynn's.
Cassandra's. Yes, there we are.
Yeah,
But Z-Storms is
I-
my favorite for sure.
I'm caught between Cassandra Lynn's, and also Pandas. Pandas
Pandas
was
was
amazing
good.
for fluidness. Pandas was amazing, but for connection to the person, I don't know, it wasn't as good. I think for me, Cassandra's is probably one of my top favorites of all time. Really is, because Cassandra, I really admire the woman. She was a really strong, independent woman, a really interesting woman in general. Not sound weird or something. I know it sounds like, oh, that's weird, but like, no, I really appreciate it. I've done so much work and effort in the script to research and learn about her. And I watched a lot of her vlogs and content. So when I finally got her on, I was like, wow, this is like, I kind of came into it a little bit as a fan. And it was so fucking interesting to speak to her, and she was so really interesting and unique. And I just think that the quality was good, the responses were good, her opinions were good.
Yeah,
it was
like
really good.
Cassandra Lynn's a fair amount.
Yeah,
I'd
so-
rate it as definitely top 3, 4. Right?
Yeah, top 3.
I know
Yeah,
we're not going into loads of logistics,
No.
but I'd definitely say Z-Storm, Cassandra, and Panda. I think they're
that
the best ones.
And mine's would be kind of like mine's probably would be Cassandra, then Panda, then Z. I love Z's, but I'm talking because of quality as well. Like that's a big part of it. Like
overall,
you know, face cams, etc. That's really where Z Storm would lose a point because he doesn't have face
I think
cam.
I
But it
like
was
the
still
variety in Z Storms as well. Like we're wearing, I know the
Oh,
costumes
yeah.
we had in Cassandra's episode, but it was so tailored to what he does with Nintendo
Yeah,
content.
that was a big thing. Z's was like, you know, we we're talking about all these like kind of cool things. He does Nintendo exclusively content to some extent, not entirely, but kind of mainly.
No,
And because
and
that
retro stuff
we
as well.
we came in with the Mario music and stuff, and we got the hats on and shit. It was really good.
Just me, very
it was-
unenthusiastic. Yep, this
Yeah.
doesn't get better than this.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than this. And it was a moment. It was a really good moment. Cassandra and his were like a really good moment for October, and I loved that for that one. So that was my opinion there. And funniest, I guess, funniest is the main question of those episodes. What would be your funniest?
Ooh, that's hard for me. I think.
I'll go first.
No, because
Ma-
I don't want to give Z the same point again because I think it was a good
No.
episode, but I don't know if it was funny.
My funniest would be the Three Amigos.
I was balanced on that and the Outcast podcast. I think the Three Amigos is funny because we can banter with Kiwi. But I
Yeah,
think the
that's right.
Outcast podcast was funny in terms of
To
just
everyone.
absolute
Yeah,
chaos.
like the chaos that was ensued within it. I think that's a good point.
Apart
I'll give
from
you that.
Exo, she doesn't deserve.
Oh my god, don't say that. Stop. That's actually mean. You say, got that. Axel, we don't mean this.
We love you, Exo.
But like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Axel's gonna be like,
That Joe
come
doesn't
get me on
know.
the show. No, don't say that.
Individually, we just
I'm
beat her
gonna
up.
Don't say that. I never said it either. My god.
I'm
But no,
joking.
so the Three Amigos would be my favorite because Joe smacked us in the wall. There was a lot of funny. Like Kiwi's mom coming in.
Oh,
When
yeah.
we started,
Uh-huh.
there's at the beginning of the show. There's a really good moment Joe edited in where Kiwi came on camera completely shirtless, and Joe's like, "Get some fucking clothes on, you pedophile!" Like he shouts at him. We've got
I
it on
don't
like the
actually
clips.
remember that.
I've gone on our Instagram, or I could play it right now. Right, I could play it right now. It's we
But
have it on our
Plex,
Instagram.
I actually don't remember that
Right.
at all.
It was like one of my favorite moments. That's why it's like that definitely takes the cake to some aspect. It's to my,
Sounds
aspect.
like I would say that.
Let
Do I
me
say
go here like
paedophile? Do I
this.
say pedo?
You,
I
you
probably
say
said
pedophile. Listen, I'll get it right now. I'll get it right this very minute. So we go down here. There's on Instagram on our TFB Instagram, right? Let me find it here. 1 second. All right, you ready for this?
Apparently.
Right. We also
the
had Thomas the
same
time.
Do I know? Something like existential crisis. Who am I?
I don't do
Oh
this.
my god!
Serious.
Put some clothes on, you.
Get some clothes on.
pedophile.
Traditionally, before
You fucking pedophile.
It's like,
and then
it's like
we
deep
start.
fried as well.
Yeah, no, yeah. And then we start jamming out the Thomas the Tank Engine. We're all sitting there, like fucking bouncing about the cameras and shit. Like it was good for quality and it was funny
know-
in terms of humor.
I know we shit on rollies. But if I was to just, I know this also isn't this season, but if I was to say one that wasn't like quality standards that I am absolutely annoyed at, it's Helos.
Yeah, Helo's definitely could be high quality.
Because I was coming through my camera microphone.
Yeah,
not my
that's right. Yeah,
microphone on
you
accident.
always did
Yeah.
take it back. You resented that, yeah, because it could be higher quality.
And it's
Helo's a good
annoying
guess.
because I get on so well. Like Hilo is like my new Kiwi at this point.
Yeah,
like,
Helo's
the
proper.
same
Helo's
vibe.
vibed with us really well. Like we've done the forest thing, us three, and I think Helo's going to
Well.
definitely be more involved with TFP in some aspects in the future. I'd love to see him in more
I'll
aspects.
get back on
definitely.
definitely. Heartbeat.
Oh, definitely for sure, like 100%. So that was our rating of the episodes there, and that kind of finishes that chapter of the Red Raid. The next one we want to talk about is the changes that have been made this season. We can kind of just really fire through these before we go to the last part.
Yep.
The changes of which there's a few. First of all, we changed the channel artwork to better represent our modern dynamic. This was a big thing. We got the artwork redone for the third time by Ree. This is the last time and third and final. I obviously know we both also rebranded individually, which has really changed things a little bit for us because we both
A
feel
little
different.
bit. I mean, mine wasn't too bad because
No,
mine
but
is
mine's
just
went from a
back to the
human.
hockey mask because I thought that was more. The reason I did that, by the way, is because one, I prefer it, and two, I didn't want to. I've had a real problem just with YouTubers in general, where their main character, and I don't mind if they have like variants of their character where it's based off something, but I hate it when their main character is just a reskin. And that's what that
Yeah.
was essentially.
No,
It was
that's
just
it.
a
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah.
Runner. But it is still
Yeah,
cool. I don't
that's
mind
it. It was really cool. Yeah, so we got Ree to redo it, and what happened was the original version one that was done by Joe's friend, was it Ben? His name?
Yeah,
Or-
Ben Animation on Instagram.
Ben, yeah, and Ben, great guy. He done the original version TFP logo, which is now like that is a supplement of like the beginning of our rebrand from episode 20 onwards.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, if you're wondering why this episode is called 1 year already, it's because that was this was going to release in October, which would have been 1 year since October 31st or October 30th, which would have been 1 year since we started since episode 20. So we would have done 30 episodes in a year, which is a huge accomplishment for us. It's not amazing,
For
but
us,
it's
yeah,
good.
definitely.
Yeah, like
the
for us
normal
though,
person,
definitely.
though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, so that was the point. But Ben done the original mock-up and then redone the version 2, which was she redone my cat and cleaned it up and polished Joe's character up as well, because Ben had done them very roughly. And then
It
Ree
had,
was
missing
like,
pixels.
yeah, and Ree managed to fix and tinker with it and clean it up. She done mine perfectly, but Joe she had to tinker with. And then for the version 3, Ree redone Joe's because she was like, I can't just draw over Joe's. I need to remake it my own version so that they complement each other and they're fine. So she done that, and that meant she could make new Halloween variants of them. She could make Christmas variants, and it would be a lot easier. You know, birthday variants, whatever we wanted, like special variants that we could have for specific holidays, which is cool. Like it's cool to think, like, say there's a St. Patrick's Day episode that comes out on St. Patrick's Day. I know it sounds really silly, but we could have our guys like with weird clothes on our outfits. We can really change it up in that regard, which I think is kind of cool. It's daft, but we can do things like that or specific holidays, and we needed to do that to be able to do that. So she done it, and that was kind of to change our dynamic. Also, Joe went from being behind me to beside me. That was a
Okay.
big thing.
Yeah.
That
Right,
yeah
I
no
understand.
that
yeah that
yeah
caught
yeah
me off
you.
guard.
What we mean by it is like Joe originally in the first 2 versions was it was always me on the front, kind of in front of him, and then it was him behind me, and the whole kind of mental dynamic behind that was it wasn't even like a mentality, like Ben hadn't done it to represent anything like philosophical or anything like that, but it was just there was like a level of like
it was to really like represent the Fermi paradox and how
like
we're all alone
I'm
on a rock
yeah
in
like
the sky.
what's the other with that?
Yeah.
Like I was in front, Joe was at the back, kind of thing. Like I was kind of the leading man was kind of the point of it. But then as times went on, Joe has become more like we are individually doing it together. That's kind of the point of it. So we are like together. There's no leading guy in the show. Maybe I talk a bit more, but Joe makes up for that in his own ways.
It depends on
Joe
the episode,
says-
I think.
Yeah, it
comes
depends
to
on the guest in
when-
episode.
Like I said, common ground earlier. It's like if someone's only going to speak about Minecraft, yeah, I'm definitely going to speak less. But that's not
Yeah.
because I don't want to speak. It's because what
No,
do I say?
what do
I
I
don't wanna
say?
say
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of that. But that was one of the big changes. Plus, also the banner. We got a brand new banner, which I love. I love the banner.
I
Our
love
banner.
our banner, yeah.
It went from being like so
I-
unoriginal, the old one, to like the new one. It's I love how I love doing it. It's like this is my thing. I love making these mad mashups of all our cutouts of all our faces from different episodes
I
and
keep
making
getting,
it into a big collage.
Not even just from YouTube people, but from my like IRL friends. They will send me a very specific photo that you've used just to me all the time.
Really?
It's the one where I've got like my face, like I'm like smiling, but like all my face is scrunched up a little bit.
Oh yeah, like this is that one? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah.
I've got it right now on Instagram. I can pull it up. I know exactly what you're talking
I've got
about.
it on Discord somewhere because everyone fucking sends it to me.
But yeah, it's wait. So we got the banner. It's yeah. I'd have to. I can just fling it on screen now. Let me actually fling present. Let's find here a specific file. Can we get a specific file? Slides. I don't think I can. Your computer. Let's try and pull up a specific forgotten podcast file right now. For anybody watching, I'm just trying to show you all this. No, I can't exactly. But it's basically Joe's got his face. I know which one exactly what you're talking about. I love doing it. But the whole idea was that Joe's on the right, I'm on the left. We've got the color thing as well, which was like a big thing. You know, the orange and like the, what would you say, cyan kind of thing? The orange and
Yeah.
cyan, which is like our colors. It was really cool. So that was our banner and artwork upgrade. And then obviously, of course, the second change was we started the new gold rated series. We officially started that. The third was upgrade our quality from 720p to 1080p, which was a nice upgrade. This was something that we done because we upgraded our subscription on the plan from StreamYard, which was
That's
a bit
where
of,
we
it's a bit
got
expensive.
we got all of that because of the £10 donations we keep
Yeah.
getting from people who come on the show. So
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, from the bless me, from the £10 donations, exactly. Yeah. But no, so that was what that was. We got that little upgrade and
I'd like to
quality.
reiterate that is not a real thing.
That's just to clarify.
We're not gonna
The
charge
next
you.
the next fix was or change was we learned to better produce episodes and plan seasons in advance. Kind of true. We did have better planning, but as for execution, certain guests fucked with that execution. Like we could have the best planning in the world, but the guests kind of ruined that. So we did learn
Yeah,
to
we've
plan
said this
better.
for I think every like checkpoint episode ever. We've
Yeah.
always said it's about what the guest puts in, and
Yeah, and
it's
if
just
they
true.
don't put enough, we can't do enough. That's it. So that was that. And then obviously going from there, we started utilizing short-based content to grow more. This was something that we tried on the Forgotten Podcast Clips channel, which we kind of done for a little while, then we stopped and we privatized everything and we came back to it. it done really well for us. It gained us a lot of views on our main channel on TFP and also TikTok. We've got a TikTok now, and we started utilizing that, and we're getting a good bit of views on there and stuff as well, which is nice. Not lots and lots, but enough, which has been awesome. We grow on the podcast. Going from there, we removed the hashtag before the episode number in the titles and thumbnails. Additionally, as well, we stopped adding critters in the titles. This was inherently just to make the titles a lot more simplistic, less character driven. Having hashtags in the titles. Yes, that's what it is. Having the hashtags in the titles, for those of you that don't know, it made it like hashtag episode. Like that's an actual hashtag for the episode, which we're not wanting.
You can have like almost like a
only three you could have
tag if you do it.
Yeah. You're only meant to really have 3 in general if you want to get the key results. So we got rid of that, and we also
only
stopped
3
adding critters.
work, I believe.
Yeah.
They go blue, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then that was the thing. So we removed that. We also removed the app for content creators because we didn't want to have that anymore. It could lead to cleaner. And then we also released the new and improved channel trailer. Really awesome. I love that. Joe and I, really weirdly enough, we worked on the script for that. I think it was actually after Liger's episode.
It was, yeah, and you were like,
Yeah.
oh, we can just write it. We'd have to do it now, but we're both like,
Yeah,
kind of
we can
hyped
write it,
about it.
we'll
We
do
just
it.
kind of did it within the hour.
Yeah. I wrote my bit, Joe wrote his bit for his character, and we kind of perfected it and stuff. And then we sent it to the guy, and we're like, listen, this is what we want. Do this, repeat these words here. We're highlighting them. And he done it, and it was really
He's got
good.
such a good voice where you can hear it in your head. Like I always, whenever I think about it, all I hear is, we know you have nothing else better to do. Yeah.
And
But
that
it's the
became
way
the
he
motto
says
as
it.
well. Yeah, and in our banner, that became a part of the motto. We know you have nothing else better to do. Like TFP, forgotten. You have nothing else better to do. Like it was kind of a cool way of doing it. And then we also, of course, from there invented the term infected episodes. This was a relatively more recent thing. Infected episodes are meant to represent episodes with guests that are either uninterested or non-motivated to be a part of our show. This has happened a couple times now. We've had a few guests do it. 2 very specific, obviously, of course, more recently, obviously, one being Coda, one being Modest. Both of these guys, Modest, I want to get him on. Yeah, super. No. Oh my God, Coda isn't unmotivated or uninterested. He's just got his own things going on. But it does suck that it takes 8 months to record a podcast episode. That isn't productive for us. The kind of common rule of thumb is we'll try and arrange something once or twice now. And if you miss our sessions, or we can't manage to arrange it, or you don't show up, we're just going to then cancel it. And you'll have to get in touch with us, and you'll have to put a bit more effort in to get yours to happen. But if not, we're just going to leave it behind because we've got better things to do. So that's kind of the inherently point of that. But they're just infected episodes. Episodes that are infecting the whole show and the season and stuff in production. And then finally, we removed the Forgotten 7, which takes us to the last point of this episode.
Where we're going to answer the Forgotten 7.
We are, for the final time, actually. And it's kind of sad. It kind of is. On a genuine level, the Forgotten 7 became a part of our show from episode 20, I think, onwards. I'm pretty sure it was. For
Something
20
like
onwards.
that. I think it might have even been like 18 or something. I don't know why.
Maybe. I think
random.
we brought it into the show, and we tried to implement it and stuff, and we did use it for 20s for season 2, 3, and 4. And then we stopped it. And it was just because the Forgotten 7 done well for itself. Initially the idea came from Hot Wings or Hot Ones, if anybody's ever seen that before. The Hot Ones show, there's like, they've got the 7 questions or whatever it is, that we're going to ask you, something like that. 7 spices, yeah, something like that. And I'd initially I saw that, I went, that's awesome, I love that concept. Can we kind of do that? Forgotten 7 came about. It wasn't entirely original, nor does it need to be, but it wasn't entirely original. And
yeah,
it
was
found
just a gimmick that we had, and it was our own thing because we had reoccurring questions where there's change.
Yeah, that was
stuff,
it.
So.
Yeah, and it was interesting. We did get some beautiful answers sometimes from some people. Luke gave us some beautiful answers in the past. Wumba gave us some decent ones. I'm trying to think who else did. Cassandra did, and other people did. We had a lot of really beautiful answers for some people, but unfortunately, we also did feel like it kind of broke up the momentum of the episode a little bit because we went from being very personalized to now completely unpersonalized.
Sometimes some episodes would get really long and then
dragged out.
On top of it, it would be like, okay.
Yeah, we'd be like an hour into an episode, and then we get the Forgotten 7, which is always at the halfway mark. So now we know that we're like, oh my God, we got to do halfway, and there's 7 questions. Sometimes a guest can linger on a single question for 10 plus minutes. So you're talking an hour segment of the episode to dedicate. It was like, no, this is too much. It's too unoriginal. Let's get rid of it. And that's what we decided to do. And unfortunately, it was a decision that we made that we're not going back on. We're quite happy with. And I've got to say, from what we've seen thus far, it's been better. For this next season, we've been working on this season's episodes.
If we are going to bring back some sort of segment, we'll definitely look more
do something more creative,
more of a fun gimmick. I've had a few ideas, which I won't share, and I'll obviously tell you at some point anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a few ideas. I thought they need to be a bit more well put together and probably shorter and sweeter.
Yeah,
because I feel
definitely.
like
So we can kind of go
it got
through
to
it.
a point. yeah, I remember there were some days where I was either in a bad mood or whatnot, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to rush this, but I don't want to be here for too long.
No,
And I'd be
yeah.
looking at the script, and then I'd see like, oh, we're not even at the Forgotten Seven yet, and it became like a really like negative marker for me. Like, oh,
A marker of like you're not even at the halfway mark, and then when you get to the
Yeah.
Forgotten Seven, there's still the whole of the Forgotten Seven to get through, and
then the half
progresses.
of the
Yeah,
script.
so it became a bit of a negative connotation for us, and it also increased the length of the episodes. Our point with the next season going forward was we wanted to try and cut down the runtime so that you're watching between an hour to an hour and a half.
To be
no
fair,
longer than
the
that.
last one we recorded that isn't out yet, we did this
Yeah.
before this recording.
Yeah.
It was like, I think
Under
it
an
was
hour.
like 50, 40 minutes long.
Yeah,
And it was
and it's beautiful.
perfect.
It's a great
Yeah.
episode, 10 out of 10 episode. We're all happy with it. It was good, and I can't wait for everybody to see that. I mean, it could have been longer, but did it need to be? No.
No.
It was good, and we talked upon what we wanted to talk about, and it was good. And may I just add, this episode had, I think, 12 questions. Our usual is either 8, or it can vary. It can be 8 to 6. For
We
Z's, I'm
cut
pretty
through
sure it has
more,
a 6 or
And
7.
we actually didn't
Yeah.
lose any valuable conversation. Or
No.
well, we might have had more, but I don't think you needed
Well,
more than what we got.
yeah, I don't think so. I think it was great. So, yeah, that was pretty much the last of the changes. And like Joe said, and obviously like we said, we are going to answer for the final time. The Forgotten Seven is like the last gimmick for this episode before we
How
end.
do you want to go about this? Do you want to ask me and then I answer, or do you do one-on-one?
We'll go. I'll ask you. You ask me, and then we'll go one on
Okay.
one. Like
Do you wanna
you
do-
answer, then I'll answer. I'll start, and then
Okay.
go from there. All right. What does your typical content creation outfit look like?
This changed, obviously, but at the time of writing this, I used to wear a suit. God forbid that anymore.
That was the old
At the
thing.
moment, it is usually just comfy clothes, and for me, that is not like... It's not like what you'd expect. I don't like wearing trackies. I don't like wearing shorts. I do at the moment because it's fucking hot. But I used
Yeah,
to
me
be
and
wearing
Joe are
like,
in the
jeans
same
and a
clothes.
shirt. Yeah, well, we're not in the same clothes, but
Well, we are. I mean, we're not in the
steady on.
same.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, this is a different shirt. you know.
Wearing shorts and
Shirts and a shirt. Shirts and a
Yeah.
short. But yeah, usually I'll be wearing jeans, and a shirt or a hoodie if it's cold or whatnot. Just something I can like go out in or come back. Like if I go out, I want to be able to be ready to do whatever when I come back, whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not a psychopath and I don't wear shoes while I record, but whatever floats your boat. Whoa, the dogs are out.
Whoa, the dogs, the dogs. It's too hot to wear shoes today. For me, the same kind of vice
I'm gonna
versa.
take my socks
I'm
off,
normally
actually.
big brain. Yeah, it's much cooler. For me, my kind of my kind of outfit of choice at the minute has just been comfy clothes. For more recent recordings that we've done, it's just been t-shirts. We're in summer now. It's obviously July or June. So it's hot. We've just been wearing like
Before someone
chill
moans
clothes.
saying English people or people from the UK can't cope, our houses are made to insulate heat.
To-
We're
yeah,
a
they're made to
cold
keep heat in,
country.
not to- yeah,
So
we
when
don't
we're
have
in
AC.
summer like this, especially a hot summer, we're being cooked alive.
Yeah.
Literally, if I was in my normal habitat right now, all of my windows would be open and that fan would be on. It's in the background. However, for audio quality, because I like you guys, it's not.
You're lucky.
I'm dying. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that's kind of the answer to that one. So you
That
Joe
is.
can take it away with the next.
Oh, you want me to
I
do
don't-
next? I thought we were going
The
down. next, okay.
segue. You ever say no? That's
Whoa! Oh, we can't go an episode without it, can we? So,
No.
Joe, what does your typical content creation outfit look like?
I just
Wow.
answered that. The next
Well,
question.
Oh, so you want me to go do one, you do one?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're professional. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Best piece of advice you've ever been given. I've ever been given. Oh my god.
Maybe we
been
didn't
given
write
it-
good questions.
Yeah, maybe we didn't. I don't even know. This is our question. I don't have a good answer to this one.
I do.
Best piece of advice I've ever been given. I'm trying to think. I don't really have a best piece of advice I've ever been given. I know. I really don't. I don't. I don't have one. What's yours?
I might sound really miserable, but there was a time I remember, because I've always been quite tall, right? And that's a weird segue. But like I've been like quite tall growing up and stuff. There was times when I was obviously shorter, clearly because I was a baby. But when I was growing up,
He wasn't 6
I
foot when he
was-
came out of the womb. Don't worry.
I was. My mum is in pain to this day. But but
Fuck.
okay, right. No, I remember like when I was like 16, 17, and I remember my dad saying to me one time, and it was like, I think obviously this is a reoccurring joke people have where it's like I look older than I am. And my dad said to me, just like, make sure to keep your head down and keep going, because he's like, people are going to want to pick fights with you because you look older than you are. And that's probably, I just to get on with things and move past people.
I can't lie. See, when you're going, my dad told me something like that advice. I felt like I felt like cutting in going, told you to bend over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like bend over that bench. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, that
that's
was my
what my
stepdad.
oh my god.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. The silence. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. But fair enough then. All right. What gives you your motivation, Mr. Curious?
God knows, I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got to say, at the moment, at the time of recording this, and I hate that because it will change in about 5 days, but, you know, I have very bad commitment issues, I think, to a majority of things in life, right? I bought a guitar, can't be asked to play it anymore. I bought an iPad for digital drawing, can't do that anymore. I've got a very, like, select few things that I can commit to, and that is making videos, and that is a bit of 3D work, and that sort of stuff. I'm happy with that. I think my motivation is when I see people with those similar skills that do video essays and big content videos like that, then I'm just like, wow, I want to make that. That's my inspiration. And although I never want to be an absolutely massive channel, I wouldn't want to be Markiplier level, but I would love to grow a community to a point where it's like, I've got 100k, I can upload a video on like some obscure horror thing or obscure game that people like find interesting but isn't popular. I'm a massive contrarian. I don't want to be, but I am. I've always been like that. People are like, the new Spider-Verse thing came out, isn't that awesome? I'm like, no, it looks shit. It doesn't, but my body hates it. I hate it, you know, all of me hates it.
You don't like following trends. You've always been like
No,
that.
that's what a contrarian is. But
Yeah.
I don't like it. It bores me. And then by the time that it's like dead in the water, I'm like, oh no, that was alright, and then I'll get into it then. But you know, it's stupid things like that, and I want to be able to make niche stuff that people enjoy. Like I think the new Blender stuff I'm doing at the moment is going to really help me stand out a little bit and do that sort of thing. Because I think the content I'm doing isn't about just the quality. That is a big factor, but it is also how much you stand out. Because a lot of people doing what I do, that do like their own individual things. But you've got to have your like your little thing that you do as well. Like mine's the animations. When you get a chance after this, watch that. I'll start retrospective, Joe.
Oh no,
You'll
yeah,
understand
definitely.
what I mean. It is very,
Yeah.
It's like that sort of thing I want to keep making. Learning how to animate. But yeah, commitment issues, big problem. But I think that kind of semi-motivates me. And my other bit of motivation is I absolutely hate my job.
That's a really good one. I can't lie. That's a good bit of motivation.
But it's annoying. It's an annoying mix because sometimes I absolutely hate my job, and I'm like, fuck, I want to get out of this. I want to make my own stuff. I want to make some money. Not because I want money, but because I don't want to work at my horrible job. But then there's also the downside of that of, wow, this place treats me like shit. I feel miserable. I don't have any motivation. So it's a big balance. What about you, Joe?
What gives me my motivation?
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, for me, it's just moving forward kind of thing. I like to continuously feel like I'm moving forward. That's a big part of my motivation. I don't want to ever feel like I'm getting stuck in the ground and kind of stuck in a specific place for too long, at least, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, and this is something that's going to get covered in episode 51. I mean, by the way, 51 was recorded quite a while ago. But like, yeah, like we cover like, you know, we cover some stuff. I'm going to let you guys wait for that. It'll be the beginning of the next season. It's a good beginning. One of my favorite episodes. But in the minute, there's been a lot going on for me. You know, my personal life, what's going on with me, my dad, etc. I personally just been living. You know, I know it sounds really like kind of like haha, you know, do you know, but it's like no,
This
like
is
dead
such
serious.
a nice response to
But
our
like,
question.
but
We're both like really negative.
Yeah, but like no, but it's just it's a truth. I've just been really living. It's kind of like I've not been caring about making as many videos or doing as much content or doing stuff I don't want to do because I'm living at the minute. Like I'm going out with friends. I went out like yesterday to go out with a couple of friends. I made a vlog with them. I want to do some stuff with you at some point, Joe, and maybe get a tattoo and stuff and doing crazy shit. Like there's some really cool stuff I want to do just with friends. You know, having relationships. You know, doing things with family, rebuilding my bonds with family. It's just more living life at the minute. And that my motivation comes from the fact I want to keep doing that. You know. So and keep pursuing things that make me happy doing that, and going to the gym and stuff as well has been kind of a massive improvement for that. So yeah, and just moving forward. So that'd be my response to that one.
What is your favorite gift you have ever been given?
This is a question I think we're gonna miss from the Forgotten Siblings because it was a really good and creative one. I think Joe came.
It gets
with one,
some
actually.
people.
Gets
Yeah,
some
no,
people.
I did because I
yeah.
wish I wasn't materialistic, but I fucking am. I've got 3 answers to this, but obviously I asked the question, so you can go first,
No, of course,
but
yeah. My favorite gift I ever received and why.
That spanking when I was 9
Yes, you said that was a gift. You were saying
it
no,
awakened something in me.
the thong I got from my grandmother. Let me see. No, I'm just trying to think. That probably my favorite gift I've ever received. I'm trying to really dig deep here at the minute. Trying to think. A lot of gifts that I received as a kid, were just toys and just things. I think probably if I actually answer that question, the favorite gift I ever received, 2011 Christmas, well 2010 it would be actually, just before 2011 obviously, but Christmas 2010, I was 10 years old. My cousin had got me a Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition. And it was for the Xbox 360. He basically promised if I gave him a toy of mine, like this Halo figure or something, like it was a cool wee figurine. But he was like, if you give me this, it's a long story. But he was like, if you give me this before Christmas, I'll make sure my mom and dad get you the game that I know you want. And I went, really? He was like, yeah, yeah. And I didn't really even know the game I wanted. But he got me Borderlands Game of the Year edition, brand new in the box with all the DLC for the Xbox 360. And I remember it was, in my household, it was you could open one gift before Christmas morning, on Christmas Eve.
I've heard a lot of places do that. We
Yeah,
never
some
did
people
that,
do it,
but I
some
know a
people
lot of
don't. Some
do.
people get to open up like pajamas and stuff like that. The
Yeah,
night
we did
before.
pajamas. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people I know do pajamas, but we done just any gift as long as it wasn't the big ones. And I went that one there, and I knew it was a game, and I knew what it was, so I opened it.
The shape.
Borderlands
You can
game,
hear the disc as
and it
well.
was Borderlands Game of the Year edition. And when I say I played that game religiously, it would be the biggest understatement of the year. I just remember Christmas
I don't
Eve
think you even need to
2010.
say that anymore. I think you watch
No,
any
it's-
video that isn't Minecraft, the background
yeah.
content is just Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands. Yeah, and it's a true. All my member vlogs and everything, and it's because I love it. But I played that game throughout Christmas Eve, literally all day and all night. And I've had a box of celebrations or selections, like or whatever they were, the candy, eating them and just playing that. So that'd be my favorite gift I ever received. And the why is because it brought me a lot of happiness when I was in a really bad time in my life, kind of thing, when things were very all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny
that'd be
because
nice.
I would say a game, like I would say something like Overwatch, but I bought myself Overwatch, so it's not really a gift.
No, it
But
could be a gift for
now that
yourself.
yeah, I was like 12 there. It doesn't really count, I don't think. But I think when it comes to, can I just give you three of mine because I could not
Yeah.
decide on
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
One of them would be my tattoo that I got for my 18th, just because that was cool. It's from my mum. It was from my mum as like my main gift because I was like I don't really need anything. And then also on my 18th, my axe.
The axe is cool. It's like a big part
Yeah,
of your
I'm
kind of like
surprised
what you
the
have.
game's not in there because I do adore a lot of games, but when it comes to gift wise, this has got a lot more almost like thought into it that I like. And the other one is really thoughtful actually, and it might not mean a lot to anyone else, but my friend, I don't really speak to her too much anymore, but my friend Morgan, for mine and it wasn't even for a birthday, it was mine and Lucy's 4 or 5 year anniversary. I don't know why she did this. It was so nice of her, but she took me, Lucy, and my friend Ollie, and Lucy and Ollie don't chat that much, but he was a good friend of mine, and Morgan was a good friend of her, and obviously me and Lucy were together. She literally paid for us to get a lift, to go to Creams, all four of us, and we all had cakes and stuff. But prior to that, she got a crochet business, and she crocheted Lucy like this bee hat, and it's like a big like a crocheted hat, but it's like
Yeah,
bee
yeah.
wings and stuff. And then she
Aw.
crocheted me a tricorn. It's up there.
Oh, okay.
Like the pirate hat. You've seen me
Yeah,
wear
is
it on
that?
the
Yeah, I've seen you wear it.
podcast.
I didn't know that was the context behind it. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's like a pirate's tricorn, like the stuff like that Jack Sparrow wears and stuff. If
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
know what a tricorn is, but yeah, and it's really well made. It's like the sort of thing you wouldn't think like, oh, you can crochet that, and she
No.
did, and she did all of that not because of a birthday, not because of like a celebration, but just mine and Lucy's anniversary. Like I think that's absolutely insane.
That's a really good. That's
yeah,
a
it was
good one.
really nice. Yeah.
That is a really good answer. I give you that. That's a good one in general. At this point in time, how would you exactly describe the way you're feeling?
No, I don't know. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm at a weird mix right now in this current moment because I've had a pretty up and down past couple of, I'd say months actually, where I've had moments when I don't want to do anything. I hate the world and you're all going to burn on the side of my axe. And then there are other days, like today, where I've kind of been like, you know what, I'm going to just get on with it. I've got podcasts to do. When I'm done with that, I'm going to do some Blender stuff. And I actually did it the other way around because we took longer than I thought we were. So I just the Blender stuff prior.
Yeah.
I actually modelled, and it sounds really uninteresting, but I blended like a tree. So I've got that ready to just like post around if I need one. And I'm going to make more variants of that later today. I got a new model made from Dystopia. He's got a new... I basically asked him, can I get like a reskin of my character? Because I can't make models when it comes to characters. I could learn, but he can do it better than me. I know how to animate though. I know how to do some basic stuff, and that's enough. Now I can animate and rig my character. I just need help
Yeah.
whenever it comes to a new character, but I won't need that because I'm only dubbing myself. That sort of thing, and that sort of motivates me to do more. It's just time consuming, but at the current moment, right now in this podcast, I'm feeling pretty good because I'm like you in that sense where you said earlier, I always want to feel like I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
Because when I don't feel like I'm moving forward, I get really fucking depressed.
Demotivated,
So,
and you start putting
I
yourself
feel
down because you feel
awful.
like it's nothing's going forward. When
Yeah.
it really is, it's just not really fast enough.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah,
fair
so,
enough, man.
yeah, I'd say I feel good enough at the moment.
That's
Yourself?
good. For me, I'm not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Not too bad. When it comes down to it, me personally, I'm getting better. I haven't been speaking to my dad now for a good few months, unfortunately, but it's kind of helped me because my dad was a huge part of the reason why, like day to day, even when I moved to my mum's and things
I
like
think
that.
family's got a big thing.
Oh,
with
it
both of
definitely
us,
does.
Actually, like,
Yeah,
obviously I've moved to my dad's, which we've established a few times. My house, my mum's house that I've done, which I'm so happy you've done all those episodes in it. That's
Oh,
being
yeah.
sold soon,
Oh,
which is
fuck.
upsetting. But
Yeah.
before it goes, my whole mum's side, we're all going to Spain, so we're going to do that first, which will be nice. So I think
it's a
that's just
shame.
nice.
It's a shame that's getting sold, but I think it's nice, like you said, that you have those episodes. It's like for me,
It's
I got
archived.
evicted. I got evicted and lost, obviously, as you know, my house. And like I really
Yeah,
love,
of course.
as much as the old episodes might not be the best quality, I love that I can go back and watch that and go, hey, like there it is. You know what I mean? Like there's not much
Mm.
content I've got like that, and it's kind of weird, but it's kind of nice. Kind of like that
Yeah.
part of time lives somewhere, not only just my memory, but also
always-
digitally.
I've always viewed YouTube, and I've said this so many times.
Digital
as
archive.
a bit of a life archive, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I
and
like
that's
the
what it
idea.
is.
It's like that's why I like the research we do into people because it's
Yeah.
like that's like what I want people to do for me at some
Yeah,
point. You know?
yeah,
I've
because
got
someone
it
at
all
some
there.
point, when you get big enough, or when it's like a point they can do that, and they can look back and go, "There's
Mm.
where he came from. That's this and this," and it's a nice part to have. So I'm doing not bad. I'm doing pretty good. I'm at the minute just focusing on me, focusing on getting healthier, getting just better in general. My own mental health, spend time with family, friends, loved ones. At the minute I'm doing that, and at the minute I've got a pretty good grasp on it.
I
Every
think it's
Thursday
important
I'm
to do other
recording.
things.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's
really
every Thursday I'm
important.
recording my member vlogs. On the weekends I'm streaming, and those member vlogs like therapy sessions. I love them, and it's good. You know what
I
I mean?
leave
Like,
them on in the
things like this.
background, unironically. I'll listen.
They're
to those
long.
while I
It's
play
like my
something.
own little podcast. They're so damn long, an hour long to half an hour, and then 2 hours sometimes. It depends, and it's mad. Like
And it's
my
funny because
little-
it's like a little recap because I typically
Oh,
know
yeah.
what goes on anyway.
yeah, because we
Uh,
speak, but like it might not always be every day. It just kind of depends. If we're doing
Yeah.
TFP actively, it's kind of like all the time, but like it depends. But yeah, it's so it's good for me at the minute. Things are going forward, which is what's important. And on the next few months, I'm planning to go do some really cool stuff. So
This
Be awesome.
one is interesting because it's harder, I think, because obviously we speak so much and we know each other on such a big basis. But what is one thing we would never guess about you? Because
I
it's
think
hard because I know a lot.
yeah,
about
you know a lot about me. I think it's more for the audience, but I think there's a lot the audience already know
Yeah,
about me.
no, of
I've been very
course.
open, but I don't. I think when it comes into the show, we have quite a dynamic of like the loud and the quiet. Like you are the mass cynic. You're normally the more quiet, reserved person. Not as in the sense you don't speak,
Normally.
but you speak when the time is right. You're quite calculated, quite calm, quite specific in that regard, and you're quite good with that. For me, I'm the more kind of upbeat, energetic kind of point. Like in the trailer, that's kind of the point it tries to portray. You know what I mean? You're more like
Yeah.
the angry cynic who's angry at life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's idea, but like that's not entirely who you are either. You know what I'm saying? You're not always like that either. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Oh,
more of
no,
the character
yeah.
as well.
It's always
I'd
like
say-
a part of your personality. And
Yeah,
then pushed
the
up,
character.
You know?
Yeah, I'd say for me, Catman Joe wise, like I'm not like I prefer my own space. There was a two odd weeks ago, I went for a real low moment because my social energy had been drained for the first time in a long time. And not just drained a little bit, but entirely. I had spent a whole day with family. I know it sounds really bad, but it was like about 12 hours or 11 hours with my dad's side of the family. We'd met up and we got together. And it was a huge family event, and it was lovely. But afterwards, I felt so run down emotionally. Like my emotional energy and like general energy for like social energy was gone. And I am like, as much as I am a bit of an extrovert and I like to be around people and be like the life of the party and the life of the guy, the guy who makes most conversation, etc. I would just as happily sit in the dark. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I like to sometimes just turn off all my lights, shut the curtains, and sit in pitch darkness and just work in quietness and peaceness, or listening to something very faintly in the background and just have my own thoughts, or lie on the floor. Like I just like my own peace. I don't like sometimes people. I like,
I don't
and
think
as
that's
cynical
weird,
as that might
though.
sound.
This isn't my. I don't think this is my answer to my question, but I guess it could be applied to it. But I do the same sort of thing. Like there are some times where I can get so into some like when I get into music, I'm very into music, right? And there are some times where I will just turn all my lights off and I'll fucking dance like a little psychopath like in the dark. But I just will. It's therapeutic. I feel like that sort of thing is weirdly important to me because otherwise I feel like I'll go nuts and kill someone. But yeah, like like not even like slow dancing in the dark, just dancing to whatever I'm listening to at pitch black. But yeah, that's probably one of the answers. I don't know if that would be my like big shock factor because I am kind of portrayed as the lunatic. But
No, that's it. But like, the cynic, yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, it depends on the community as well. I speak to a lot of not Z-Storm specifically, but a lot of his friends. I'm also in their communities now, and I'm known as like the psychopath because I'm obviously wearing the mask and shit.
Yeah, the killer.
Or they just call me a red coat because I'm British. But it is funny though. But I guess if that is the angle you're coming at, saying that I'm a massive contrarian that just doesn't do anything, never goes out and stuff, I would say like I do a lot when it comes to like I spend a lot of my time in like a cafe. Like I find it really hard to, if I'm feeling demotivated and I'm not very busy, if I'm busy I can do a lot of work at home because it's split into two separate places. If I've got nothing on, I'll some days just hop on a bus, but I'm going to a cafe, so I'm not in my room. I'm just going to write, have a coffee, write down as much as possible, just get some ideas flowing, and I'll do that. So I spend a lot of time there, if that's of any surprise to anyone.
Yeah, I think that's. I do think honestly, like I do get that in general. Like I think that's kind of something that I would expect about you. I know you like your own space, but also you are pretty chill in that regard. So
yeah,
I'd say
like, I don't think I'm an extrovert or an introvert to be honest, but I do really like being on my own, whether that's in public or not. Like when I travelled alone up to Manchester for the first time, I still enjoyed that because I wasn't technically with anyone. Like I was around people, but I was on my own. Like I like being. I feel like this sounds really bad, and I'm not gonna say it too loud because I have people in my house. I feel like I start to slowly hate the people I'm around if I'm with them in person too long.
too much. Yeah. You like, I understand that to some extent. I wouldn't
Not
say
in a bad
I'm
way,
the same, but
just
like I get that.
emotionally.
Yeah. Well, for the last question of the Forgotten Seven,
beat
what
them
would you
up.
personally say is your biggest strength?
Oh god, that's hard, man. I don't actually. Can we do a little add-on to this?
Okay.
Can you tell me what mine is, and I can tell you what yours is, and then we give our own answers? Because
Okay.
I don't know what I could say.
Oof. I'm trying to
I
think,
think
what would be your
my
biggest strength and I
ability-
do?
My ability to critique something in a unique way, maybe.
Mm.
Maybe to be a devil's advocate, maybe. I don't know. Because I want to say commentary, but I don't think that is it yet. It's not at its
Commentary,
peak.
you're very good at commentary. I'd say one of your biggest strengths, of course, is your ability, I guess, to turn what is inherently rough into diamond kind of thing. Like you have an ability to be able to turn. You can't make shit into gold, right? Like I remember we talked about this with like Zebras with his footage and stuff, right? Back in the days when you were for him.
Yeah, we say this
And
a
this
lot,
was a
this
true
is
thing.
good
But
analogy.
Joe has I just the other day there I edited for the first time for TFP since episode 11. The last time I edited for TFP was episode 11. The fan came to live with me. That was the last time. After that, I went, I'm never doing this a fucking again because I didn't enjoy the editing process. I did it. I said, I'm never doing this fucking again. Never again. I never will. And I never did. And that was us. We left it there. Joe started doing all the editing from that point onwards. He done the episode from episode 12 onwards from there. 100%. The other day though, I was waiting on Joe and edited a few episodes and stuff, and I was getting a bit miffed because I was in a bad mood already. I had shit going on, but I'm gonna edit episode 48 because I've got an idea that's kind of unique in my own mind. It would be like I'm gonna edit the funny moments and things. I think I have a better eye for some of the funnier moments, at least in my own opinion, but that's always kind of opinionated. But Joe
Comedy
just
is
has
subjective.
Joe is just better at putting something together. It could be like the most rough, obscure thing, and he'll put it together in a way that it makes it better than what it originally was, always, infinitely better. I don't know how he does it. I can't tell you what it is that he does. I don't know how to do it. I can't replicate it. I don't know the other day. I can key in on things and zoom in. I can do all these things that he can do in that regard. But there's just something that he does when editing that I can't tune in on and do. That's him. he's got that ability that's beyond my ability. Beyond maybe there's some level that he's reached that I've not, but there's something that he has, even if he's not doing it. And I know when Joe's editing at his best. I know when Joe's editing at a half-ass level. Joe can edit at a half-ass level behind the scenes and be like, it's edited. Like, I can tell when Joe's done a good edit or when Joe's done a bad edit because I know what Joe's like and I've seen him for years. I know how he works. Like, Joe can do a shitty edit and it will still be fucking good. But if he's paid and he's doing a good edit, oh my god, it'll be fucking great. Like, I can tell the difference. Like, Joe's done TFP edits where I've went, he has sat there and been like, I can't be asked doing this, but this is the thing I need to do. And he's went and done it. And he's done it in a way that it's still good.
You
but
know
I'm
when we
going to
were
watch
speaking
it.
about the old house, like
Yeah.
Mum's house. I remember I don't ever wear one anymore. Like, but I used to wear like this fucking dressing gown because it's fucking cold back then. And I wish it was cold now, goddamn.
Back then.
But yeah, back in the day. And I remember pulling an all-nighter. I think I did 2 episodes, and I remember looking at the clock, and it's like 4 a.m. and I'm like, what the fuck? I've listened to my own voice and your voice for like 6 hours. Yeah.
There you go. And that's what I'm saying. I can tell when Joe edits, regardless if Joe edits good or bad, there's no bad. His bad is your good. Your best is his bad.
No, my
like,
bad
he
is
can,
your okay. It's fine.
No, yeah. Joe can edit in like a kind of way, and then like it still out fucking plays anybody else's because he's really fucking good at it. And even when he's not doing it at his best level, it's still really fucking good. And that's the thing. He's a dick. Like, I can't beat him in that regard. Like if he edits and even if he does it in like a way that's like, I can't be asked, I've got to do it because like they're moaning at me, I'm not doing it. Okay, I'll do it. He does it and it's still fucking good. I don't know how, but see if he does it and he's actually got his heart into it. Like, see, After Dark Retrospective. I've not even watched it. No, I've got it. Like, I've not even watched After Dark Retrospective. But see, because like this fucking guy, like he gets hyper fixated. That's another thing. Like, it's kind of a bad thing, but also a good. He gets hyper fixated on projects. He thinks of something and he really likes it, and then he does it like he can't get in his way. He's so track minded, like one track in that regard. Like, you can't get. It's like a train. You can't get in front of it. You just like, I'm like, oh Joe, we got to do this. Oh, cool. We got to do it. No, cool. I'm doing this. Like, it's just he's just doing his thing, and you got to wait until that train. You've just got to wait until that fucking train stops, and then when it hits the station, then you can be like, hey, can we do this thing? Like, see, today he's in the mood to do TFP, and he's came, and we've done 2 episodes, and it's been good episodes. See, when I have to drag him to be able to do an episode, and it pulls him out of his zone of not wanting to do one, he gets so pissy. Well. Like, and it's like, honest to God, and he's laughing because he knows this shit's true. I know it.
It's true.
Like.
At first, Joe, I was like, where are you going with this? And
no, but it's the truth. Like, see with Coda's episode, right? We done Coda's part 1 and part 2. Part 1, Joe was ready for that, right? And he was all right. He was more funny, more laid back. He wasn't fully, but he was chill. Part 2, Joe wasn't in the mood. He couldn't be arsed. He just couldn't be asked. And then his Wi-Fi started packing in, and we're taking the piss out of him. By the end of it, Joe was like, honestly, you could tell he was on the brink of just going, fuck off. Leave me alone. I'm going home. Like, I'm home. I'm going away. Like, it was like that. Like, that's how he is. But that's what I'm saying. That's like the truth of it. So I'd say the positives that you have in that regard would be, again, your inability to make shit content. Yeah. Your inability to make shit content. You can make good content even if you're making it shit. You still make it good. And then I'd say also your ability to be able to hone in on stay track minded. I think that's kind of, some people often get distracted if they're trying to do something, one main project. It's so easy to get pulled into something else or get distracted by something. Joe has a way of being able to, though, it's not even a way. Joe just says fuck off. Like, he just doesn't care. Like, he does his own thing. Like, that's what it is. I'm too polite to do that. So if I'm doing something like I really need to do and someone messages me, I will feel obliged to message them back. Joe would just not look at the message. I'd be like, my phone broke. I lost it. Like, that's how Joe is. Or just fuck off. Like, yeah, that's how it is. But that's, I say Joe's strengths.
She wouldn't word it the way you have, but Lucy would say the same thing.
Oh, yeah,
fair,
yeah.
You know what? Now that you've said it, I would say that is my strength. But the reason I wasn't going to say it was because it's also a disadvantage. Because like I said, commitment issues. The reason I think, like you described it, the train doesn't stop is because if it does, I lose interest.
Yeah, if it stops,
and then I say fuck off to my own project.
This is why he'll tell you to fuck off if he's doing something, because he already knows himself. He knows if he stops the train to do something else, because like, I need to do this.
The train.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, the train stops and then it doesn't start back up for a bit. He's gonna wait and then eventually we get back and the train will start again. But if he just keeps that fucking momentum and chugging along, he'll get it done in no time. But like, that's how he is. So that would be
that sentence. You can ask him to do something. He'll tell you to fuck off.
It's just truth though. Like, you won't say it. You're not rude. You won't be genuine like fuck off. But what you'll do is Joe does this. Joe's just like you. Joe just ghosts you. Joe just doesn't respond to messages or shit. Or he'd be like, I'll respond later. and later's like next week. And like I love that shit. Like I hate him for it, but I love him for it. Cause I'm like that's like my little bro right there. Like that shit, I fuck with that. Like that's what I do. Like if I can't be asked with someone, I just ignore them. Like it's such a dick thing to do. But I'm like, I'll get back to you. Like don't you worry, Pete. I'll get back to you. I just won't speak to him for like a week. Like
annoying
it's
'cause,
so
like,
good.
It's such a perfect strategy because if you do that, they can't go, oh, by the way, because you're like, no, I'll get back to you.
I'll get back to you. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I'll be back. Like when? Later. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all. Well, when though? Can you give me a time? Later. You know, so like it's. I'm not giving any commitments.
When?
Yeah, later. Like that's it. But so that'd be.
I
that'd
think
be
yours
mine
is
too.
very clear cut for me. I think a lot of people would say the same thing. You get it quite a lot from people.
Massive
but I've
penis.
always said it. Yes, actually. No. So, yeah, 2 inches is amazing. But I think your ability to convey a point and convey the way you speak and just the way you. I know, like you've obviously over the years you've had that ability where you're like always saying you want to get rid of the accent a bit because it's clearer. But your way of speaking is so fluid and well done to the point where I think, I can listen to long form really easily. And I don't think you have to edit it too much. Your one
No.
takes are typically much better than mine. And like when I'm going through my commentary, obviously you hate everyone that hates listening to their own voice, but I feel like you have a lot of an easier time being like, I said that right, I did that right. Whereas I'll be like, oh shit, I've said like this sentence, but I kind of didn't stop saying what I was saying.
Yeah.
And
I think it's just something you learn. For me, Z-Storm commented this on like the episode 48 that we done, and he was like, "How
Yeah, I saw.
only Joe could do like a 5-minute
one
thing."
take
Like,
it, yeah.
yeah, and it's the truth. Like people like don't understand. Like on a genuine level, not to like I'm gonna pat my own back. I love myself, but like it's the truth. But like no, but like it's the truth.
Ego's
Like
also big.
that's what. Yeah, exactly. You need to have a big ego in this game. But like the truth of it is like for me, I do now scripts, and scripts is what slows down content production infinitely. If I'd done everything
agree
freeform, I could
completely.
make videos 10 a penny. If you go back to old Catman Joe, like me pre 2020, like that, you'll see me for like years, even beyond that, like 8 odd years. I done everything non-scripted. I used to do tutorials, video. I do 20-minute long tutorials. 20 minutes. People, if I say this to some people that do commentary, they go, fuck off. I don't fucking do 20 minutes. You fucking mad? You have points or bullet points? Nah, I just talk. What? But what? Like whatever I want. You know? So like I would go in and do a 20-minute long tutorial, and I'll be teaching how to build, but probably like talking mostly about me. Like, oh yeah, this, we're gonna build
I went
this
to the
and
store
place this
today.
and-
Oh, we're building this caravan.
Yeah,
by the way.
it's funny. This actually reminds me like that Chinese guy I saw at the store. It was really funny. We were actually in a conversation. Mr. Wow, you know, I just chat. Like I'm good at that. Like my conversation is good now. I have the ability to just kind of chat. You say like even my teacher said I used to do interviews in my high school for teachers back in the day. Like I used to do it like in my high school, and they used to say this to my dad. He'd be like, Stephen, like. Joe should get into doing some sort of news reporting or something. Like there's something about him. He's good at being able to speak with people. Like he's really good at being able to speak and convey himself, and he's very articulate in
I
how he
really
speaks.
wonder how deep rooted stuff your teachers say go.
Oh,
in
yeah.
general, not just to you as a person, because
But like as evolving,
that's
yeah.
really reminded me of something, and I agree with it to this day, and I don't want to agree with it and it hold me back. But I want to know if you agree with this, because you were probably the only person that would understand in our YouTube context, right?
Yeah.
I was told as a kid in like I think maybe like a year 4 parents' evening, like when you're in like primary,
yeah.
right? Which is the same sort of time you were just talking about. And teacher goes to like my mum and me and goes like, Joe's really good with coming up with ideas. It's just about executing it and getting it on paper.
Solid. Yeah, I think that's a solid point. It's
And
true,
that
and
was
I
like
think
back in like art class.
It's
so like,
weird,
you've got
but yeah,
great ideas, but it's execution.
and it still forms forward. Like even now, like you can think of it like we can sit and brainstorm. Like we do that. We can sit and together after dark. I mean, perfect example. After dark, we sat and brainstormed a name and fucking went from there. But
In
Joe
stream,
is
yeah.
Joe is really creative. Like being real, Joe is really fucking creative with what he does. Like that's how he does this. Like YouTube is a creative medium. It's like making music or art. Like it is its own creative art. And Joe is really creative, but like a lot of the times it's a challenge of executing it. You can think of something really good, but then you will not want to execute it and do it until you know you can do it in the right way. Like if you know that you could do it better in 2 years' time when you have some specific piece of equipment, you will just go, nah, I'm not going to do it till then. Like no,
Yeah,
there's no
but
point.
that's also the problem with the train
it's no
again,
good.
because the train's already ran its course and it won't
Yeah.
come back till then.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can, but not often.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'd say that's true to some extent. Yeah, definitely. I think
man, I wonder
it's weird
how
it still
many
carries on.
examples of that you get through people.
Yeah, if you look back
like
for all
being
your
told as a
teacher's
kid.
notes, yeah, and what they say.
Yeah, that's
Kinda mad.
interesting.
Well, that's been a good episode.
I agree. We just make bangers today.
That's what it is. We made 2 banger episodes. That's
I was
what
going
it
to say
is.
this after the episode stopped, but I don't even think we have to fucking edit this one.
I really don't. Honestly, I really don't. I got to ask, are you going to be editing the next episodes, Joe? Because I can't. I've lost my hands in Vietnam, and plus it's also going to kill me doing it.
Put your hands up right now.
Hold on.
Oh, you can't, I can see them.
Nah, they
Oh.
don't exist, man. They're
Oh
nubs, you know
shit,
what I'm saying?
man! I didn't know you were in the hospital recently. No,
Sorry, it's fine.
what you do? Okay, which one is next? Don't tell me. No, hold on. What episode are we on currently? 47.
50. You know, yeah.
50? No, I know
so
now
you,
this one. I know this one, but the one I need to edit next.
That you just got to
That's
edit
what I
this
need to
one though.
remember. Oh, is this the next one?
Well, we've got already. You already done 49. So once you edit this one, that's us. And then
Dude,
you just
I
need
edit
to do
so
51.
much stuff, I forget which
You just need
numbers
to
is
do.
which.
Yeah, you just need to do this one. Then you could do 51, then 2, then 3. Like you can just edit it in order.
Oh, I thought I was far behind.
So you got
okay.
it. No, so you're easy. Like that's. This will come out not this Saturday, but next. So you got plenty of time
Oh.
as well. So when you see, life's easy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When you keep
Life
an
is
order,
easy.
you know what I'm saying?
Guys, remember, life is easy. If something goes
Life
wrong,
is
just
easy.
say life is easy. Getting
Life
arrested,
is
life
easy.
is easy. A
Life
domestic
is
abuse,
easy.
life is easy.
Life is easy. Yes, exactly. Well,
Help.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let Joe sign this one out for the last episode, of course, of the old season. Now we're going to start kicking off into the new season, the golden era, which I can't wait for you all to see because we've got some
Oh
pretty
God,
good
we're
episodes lined
halfway
up.
to 100, man. When we get
Let's get it
there,
going.
this is going to be ancient, probably, because it'll probably take us 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be like fucking 42, you know what I'm saying? 42 and
Cool.
fucking 38. It'll be lovely.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching episode 50, the one of the final checkmark episodes for a little while, probably. And yeah, hopefully you're all having a fantastic time wherever you are in other world, night or day, whatever. I'm not going to say good night or whatnot, so this is what you're getting. But yeah, thank you very much for watching episode 50 of the Forgotten Podcast. I have been your host, Master. Put your clothes back on. We're not done yet. We need to wait till we
Yes.
stop recording. I have been your host, Master Nick. This has been my co-host, Mr. Catman Joe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Toodaloo.
I'm scared of him.